Xbox.
And
But he
now
hit
we
the button
are
up.
live, and this is Xbox Ultimate Podcast, episode 105. Yes, thank you. Episode 105. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. I appreciate each and every one of you, as always. If you like the show,
assholes.
Yeah,
Everyone, assholes.
Thanks, assholes. Appreciate all you assholes for joining the show, as always. But if you like this show, if you like this kind of content, hey, remember to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Also, check out the show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and more. I always forget to mention that we are an audio platform. So if you don't get a chance to catch us live, you can have that avenue to listen as well. And we are going to have a lot of fun today. Pong is, as always, usually late here because he works long nights on Friday. And but guess what? 3-Bit's back, so we got that. So it's gonna be absolutely awesome. Psycho is, I think, traveling right now. Not 100%, but I think so. But also a little under the weather. So hope you're feeling better, bro. But hey, guys, guess who bailed us out as an awesome guest? And I was happy to see you in the DMs there because I reached out as like anybody out there like who wants to hop on tonight. And you are one of the awesome people in the community and a great podcaster as well. And I was having a conversation that I'm a little bit jealous of you this past week because you had an amazing show and an amazing guest on there. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But also, I wanted to say welcome to this is your second time on this show, I believe. And what's up, Sour Blow Gaming, dude? How's it going, man?
Yes. Thank you very much for actually having me here. And last week we did have Danny Pena, which an amazing guest. And I'm very excited to be here. I see the topic's actually Halo Infinite Forge, which I'm super excited for.
Nice.
What's coming. So yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, right on.
And hi to the panel.
Yeah, and you have Xbox International podcast over there with Crazy Louie and Brian and awesome group of people. So yeah, it's awesome to get Danny on there because again, like one of the first podcasts I ever listened to, that was Gamertag Radio. I listened to it back on the Zune when you had to download it, right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's kind of like gaming podcast royalty right there that you got on your show. So that's great, dude. I'm a little jealous, like I said, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Hopefully we can help you in the future.
Hopefully, now, at this point, I think I'm. Screw you, Danny.
Help
You know
you
what I
with
mean?
that.
If you don't want to come on our show,
Okay.
Now.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Salty.
Nah, you just
I'm a little,
awesome.
I'm a little salty. Big fan.
But fuck you.
No, I'm just kidding, man. No, that's
He's
awesome.
a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's just busy right now.
It's awesome that you had him on your show, though. That is great, man. But also, hey, like I said, guys, we're gonna have fun. We got a stack panel here. We'll see how long we can keep Kate around this week. The lovely, first in my heart, wife Caitlin. What's up, baby? And a TikTok star, maybe? No?
I don't know. I just yesterday I hit 15K and I haven't even checked it in a little bit, but now I'm at 16.4K. So
there's too much views to keep up with now.
it's happening, guys. It's
I don't
happening.
think is that views or is that followers or whatever?
That's
Followers.
yeah. So she posted a video yesterday and it's already like over 100K or something now
153.1
for a Halloween cake. And it's an awesome one. So check it
So
out, guys.
I know that most people here and in the chat could give two shits about the kind of content I post, but
We all like food, babe. That's one thing we'll have in
send
common.
your wives, your girlfriends, your sisters, your whoever my way.
Yeah.
At Caitlin_fancy. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. I get to eat that
Yes.
cake also. So
See, the problem here is I think Caitlin needs to do like a crossover event to boost our numbers because she's more than
Yeah.
all of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is growing like crazy fast over there. So super proud of you, babe,
Thank
for all
you.
of that. And then we got a guy that's also just out there doing amazing things and the amazingly talented 3-Bit who graced us with his presence this week. We're lucky to have you here because you're so busy all the time doing amazing things. But how's it going, 3-Bit?
Hello, good to be here. There's a lot of exciting topics to get through today, and did not get to talk about couple of them, like Jim crying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna get to
so-
that. That's on the list. We got a lot to talk about today, dude. So
Yeah,
you'll get to get
looking
your
forward to
salt out there, you know.
that. Yay!
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the last episode I was on was Ultimate episode 100. So
mhm.
which for those who did not
That's
get to
right.
watch, please do. Got to see the family in person.
Yeah.
Took you
Always a
5 weeks
pleasure.
to get back home.
Yeah, it took 5
5 weeks. He walked home to Georgia. Everybody, you know.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my-
finally back. Finally
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that's right. The last time you were on the show, you were sitting in this chair.
Well, he was on the FSP, but
That's true.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
true. But people just exclusively watch Ultimate. I guess I walked home.
Yeah. Yeah, you did walk home. And we have the always fuzzy one, Fuzzy Belvedere himself. What up, Fuzz?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here. Man, just so much stuff going on Twitter and in gaming news, and Halo is it's got some exciting stuff coming. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into that discussion.
Some finally official stuff to look at and watch from Forge. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the Jim Ryan stuff. We're gonna get into the Disney Marvel thing they had today. We're gonna get into Ubisoft Forward tomorrow, and also the Xbox has got an Elite controller that they just announced. We're gonna kind of cover the bases on all those different things. Jasper, what is up, dude? You actually got to watch that thing with me today. Did you enjoy that at all?
there was a few little games in there that were okay that I'm excited to play. That I'm going to play. So
Yeah.
it was all right.
And how are you?
Tired.
He's- Today he's tired. That's
yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
tired.
He got 3 hours of sleep, so he's we'll see if he starts snoring in the middle of the show. We'll try and
Nah,
keep it
man.
entertaining enough for him. But appreciate everybody in the chat. I see Slow-Mo hanging out there. What's up, Slow-Mo? Shane, Talos Ray, Alvin, Tony Grasso, Def Leopard. How's it going, guys? Calorie as well. Got to play some Halo with Calorie. It was actually almost as sweaty as Jasper there as well. So back from the dead. What up? I think I said hello to Def Leopard. Everybody, thanks for joining into the show. Let's get into some of these things now. Cerebral, you had mentioned the Halo Infinite Forge, right? And you had
Yes.
actually got a chance to check that out today. You were extremely impressed by what you saw, it seems like.
Yes, I actually was. I was super impressed at how easy it looks like to build stuff, and
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things that the community has built. So I'm actually pretty excited to jump into this. I actually study architecture, so I
Oh,
love
yeah.
all the playing around, building, designing, and stuff. So I'm looking forward. And I never jumped into Forge before because I got into Halo. Well, I got actually into Xbox only like 2-3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really looking forward. It looks pretty interesting. So, have any of you guys jumped before in the past into Forge, and what do you guys?
Yeah, I used to kind of make like maps just back in the day for like friends and stuff in Halo 3. I never really messed around with it too much in Reach. Mostly we just kind of made like party game maps and stuff like that
Okay.
just to mess around and play fun, not like serious like competitive maps or anything, just stuff to like goof around with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I made a map that got stolen, and I'm always gonna be salty about it.
Is it a
I-
popular map or?
Yeah, it became popular. There's this haunted mansion where it had a bunch of traps inside of it, and you jump at the top of the roof, and then you sort of like try to get to the very bottom without like basically surviving. It's like traps inside of the place, and then
Yeah.
someone stole it and then claimed it was theirs. I
Well,
always be
that's
salty about that,
that's
but-
kind of interesting because the new way that they're doing Forge, I think it's going to kind of promote a lot of that kind of content
Yeah.
you can take. Because there's a thing that they're saying where if you combine like a bunch of different objects to make, say, like a car that's not in the game, they said you can save that object and then share it out, and anyone can take that object and put it in their map now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and each Halo had really like the Forge progressed pretty well in each Halo game. Like Halo 3, if you wanted objects to float, you had to put an object beneath it, and then you put the object on top, and then you delete the the object underneath it so it could just stay there. It was fun to figure out a lot of maps, because when the creativity of people when they did figure out some of these stuff, it was really cool. But Over time, I'd say that the Forge has gotten better and better, and this time it's even it, the amount of content we can make with this Forge is probably is the best so far. I
Yeah.
would say so.
Yeah. One thing I saw very interesting, that it lets you play with kind of like the certain like commands, kind of like so you can create your own style of gameplay. I used to play a lot of Warcraft 3, and in the world creator mode, they gave you a lot of choices, and you see people create all kinds of games there. So I think this is gonna really help Forge, elevate and create so many different styles of gameplay, because there's so many possibilities.
Yeah, it's you can create your own scripts, and a script is like pretty much just like you're tying a command to a certain object. So like say you go up to like a button and you hit it, then like something else will pop out maybe across the map. So you create a script. It's just a command that says, hey, this object needs to move or shoot something out or do something like that. So you can start doing crazy stuff like that. And the more detailed, the more time people get their hands on it, they'll start creating entirely new game modes, and maybe even like break the camera out, make it top down, make an RTS inside Halo Forge. Like there's going to be so much crazy stuff that eventually you won't even be able to recognize it as Halo inside Halo.
Mhm.
It addresses a lot of my issues that I had with Forge in the past, actually, because I love map editors, right? I used to make a lot of maps, but I didn't make them in Halo. I used to make them in Far Cry, because Far Cry 1 and Far Cry 2 had the most insane map editor on consoles, where you could deform the terrain. And Far Cry 2, you could even make tunnels and stuff, and you could snap objects and do all that stuff back then, right? And I spent a lot of time making maps on that. And when Forge came out, where everybody was super excited because Forge was came out, I found it at first really limiting, because it was hard to get into it, because I couldn't really change the ground or the environment that I was in. Instead, it was just moving objects around and kind of snapping them and stuff. And a lot of the objects didn't really look that detailed or great in the first place. So I felt like I was making these smooth out map things, right, that didn't have any detail. And I was like, this is cool to make things, but it didn't really give me the same level of freedom that I had making those Far Cry maps. And Kate remembers the Far Cry maps that I used to make all the time. I mean, like, I would spend.
I think everyone here does. You bring it up.
I know I do, because I freaking loved it. I did. I mean, like,
I think honestly, you probably didn't have enough time with Halo 3 Forge, because like if you started like breaking down like some stuff you could do, you could fuse objects inside each other to add a second layer of detail. And then if you wanted to add like terrain to it, you take the Goff cup, put that under the map, so you create like a little grass hill and stuff. Like you could do some crazy stuff with it.
Yeah, but all of it required objects, right? Which was like different than Far Cry, where you just started with ground and you could make the ground go under and out. That was on the original Xbox.
No, the Forge.
That came out with Halo 3.
Halo 3.
Yeah.
And when was that?
360. Yeah.
Yeah.
When? What year?
2007.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I liked what they were doing with Forge. I just felt like I had already had a better experience, with a map editor on a console.
Patience anymore for that kind of.
Well, that's true. I used to spend hours and hours, and I'd make all these badass like maps and stuff, and we'd play all these custom games. But here's where I like this, okay? Because of the object scaling, you can make pretty much your own terrain now, like out of default. Because if you choose like the blank terrain, he was showing like, okay, well, this is a little dirt mound as an object, but they scaled it out and made it into a mountain, right? Now, in my mind, I'm already thinking like, okay, I take that, and then I'll take another one, and then I merge them into each other. Now I have like different levels and layers, and I can create more diverse terrain and stuff. And now I'm getting to the point where I am making my own ground levels to work with. So that gives me more freedom with how I build the level out altogether. And then on top of that, now with how they're doing it, you can add more detail to the environment as well. And they actually had showcased a map from somebody from Xbox era, Sicaminico. And
the cyberpunk.
Yeah, it was a cyberpunk style, like ODST theme map a little bit. And it was absolutely highly detailed, because he took one layer of something, like one object that had detail on it, and he merged it into another one just to get that facing there, right?
That's what I was talking about for like Halo 3.
But, and that's cool, but even like on Halo 5, most of like the Halo, the Forge maps had no detail on them whatsoever.
Yeah,
It just looked like
Halo 5 was all gray.
it was all just smooth objects and stuff, man. It was like Halo 3 was pretty cool and you could do some cool stuff, but even then, I don't know. This really gives me that freedom. I feel like to make whatever the hell I want, right?
Yeah.
And before, I didn't feel like I had the freedom. I feel like I had a template and I could put stuff within that template and do things. This makes me feel like I can create my I can have a vision in my head, and they are now giving me the tools to be able to make that vision become a reality, right? And that's what the most exciting thing is to me. And after watching their breakdown today, this will be the first Forge I am going to spend time in and actually invest making some maps, because I already have ideas. I was watching that event today and I already have ideas of stuff that I want to make. And
Are you gonna make any like on stream?
I could try that. I got to get familiar with the Forge details. Like I was really more familiar with the Far Cry stuff back then, and I had that down. I could work that stuff really fast. But all it takes is messing with it for a certain amount of time. You can start to get it. But the way they're doing things now, it seems like they put a lot of ease of use and like user functionality with it to make it more simple to pick it up. But it seems really deep and in depth to let your creative things go. And for example, the one from John from Xbox Era was like he had put a little dirt mound inside of a trash can, then he put the flame effect, so it made it look like there was dirt or grass in the trash can that was burning, right? And like little things like that. So where you have a vision, and it's, even though the tools aren't necessarily in there, you can create your own. You know what I mean? Right. And that's like where it comes in. Now you add on the component of being able to share stuff with friends and other creators out there and other people that are making maps. And I think they called it like Game Fab or Create Fab or something like that. I can't remember how it was, but where you share your grouped objects. Now you start sharing stuff with the community and everything, and it's like you have this pool of objects that's going to become available, right, for the masses, to where it's like going to multiply upon itself exponentially, to where even the objects that are available right away in the game are going to be expanded upon like crazy from the community. So we're going to see some amazing creations with this over the coming years in Halo Infinite, and it's going to completely change the game, in my opinion.
Is it all free?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's all part of the free to
There's
play.
no like premium objects or anything.
No, don't give them ideas.
No, and they will update this over time too, where they're going to keep coming out with more objects as well, with like they have before in Forge mode in the past. So even this, I imagine they're going to give new templates and new things down the line at some point, right? New textures.
It was really cool because some of the walls that they I remember showing where it was like a curved asset, and then they were able to make it like straight. So
yeah,
the amount of detail in this Forge is definitely insane. There was a lot of limitations with the previous Forge, but that made it so players got really creative, like kind of what Jasper was hinting to. Like if you want to fuse objects in the past, I'm pretty sure you would have to mess with like the spawn time of the object, and then they sort of go inside of each other.
You had to do so many back end like ways to like trick the game into doing that. So I'm hoping now that it's just kind of built in, and I hope that I don't have a bad habit. Like I did that for so many years in Halo 3. I hope I didn't develop a bad habit of like, okay, I got to set this to 30-second delay, put the object in the same place, and then fucking set it to phase, and then it's just, it's
like all that. Now you can just do it,
yeah.
Which is it's crazy. Like you can duplicate objects you make, and instead of just making it all from scratch, like little things that are pretty much what you do in game engines. Like it's very fascinating that they were able to do that for sure. And it's going to be this is like positive news for Halo that a lot of people wanted to see and needed to see, honestly. So I'm glad. Got some really cool stuff.
And I got to give 343 credit for this, whereas people are like, oh, the community is going to fix this game now. We're going to do what 343 can't. And I agree with that. This is going to allow us to do what 343 can't. We're getting content into the game. However, I got to give them credit for going this far with Forge, right? Going this far to put those tools into the community's hands. So there's credit there due to 343 with this. And it's, for me, this is going to be worth the wait, right? The Forge team has been doing magic there, it looks like. And the feedback, because people that have been doing things behind the scenes on the insider thing, I got like feedback from them that this thing is absolutely incredible, and we're only scratching the surface of what it's actually capable of. But they can't go into details, obviously, because it's all under, NDA and all that kind of stuff. Fuzzy, hey, dude, Fuzzy. Did you have a chance to watch the Forge thing today?
Only like basically some of the screenshots and stuff, but just seeing some of the stuff that people were making prior to them going into depth on this, from everything from like SpongeBob World to like Stranger Things to, I mean, just the amount of different customization that you can do. Like, this would be a dream for something like Forza Horizon, which you have like where you can build your own tracks and things like that. This takes it to a whole new level where you can, tweak everything from the most granular things like the trees, the grass, like building, like you said, mounds into mountains or mountain ranges and things like that. I'm just going to play around with it just to see what I can build. Like, I was talking to with Pong and PTK earlier in the DMs about, like, there's a lot of tools out there as far as for like those that want to build their own game, like with Unreal and stuff like that. And I might just play around with this to kind of get a rough idea of just like for certain maps or certain like scenes and things like that on building it. Like, that's what I mainly use, like for like, what is it? Not Sims, but yeah, actually like Sims 4. I use that almost like an architect design tool for like, all right, my next house, I want it to be like this, and build it there. And now you can basically build anything in Forge, even if it's just to build like a almost like elevator action, the old arcade game built into like basically Halo. So I'm excited to see all the different like detailed things that you can make or create.
Yeah.
And once those things are made and then being able to share them, man, I can only imagine this is going to be like Unreal Engine on a miniature scale, I guess you could say, to some extent.
We kind of got an interesting look into how their engine actually works too in this interview. A lot of people may not have picked it up, but they said that they were able to increase their object budget so much because a lot of the objects now are static, so it's rendered as geometry instead of a dynamic thing where the computer always has to read it as an object that will interact with stuff. So now a lot of objects are static, so that's how they're able to increase their budget so much.
Right. So they can do making these objects it's like
the
kind
scalability between consoles is there.
And if you make a one object giant, it still only counts as one object.
Yeah.
Which is insane, right? So they had like the Giga Grunt on there, which is like a giant monster grunt, and you could even change like the detail on his armor, right? Like and stuff
They
like
made
that.
it sheet metal.
Yeah, it was crazy, like the amount of customization we're going to be able to get with this thing. So the most exciting thing for me though is beyond even the craziness that we're going to see come from this, because we're going to see a lot of crazy shit, right? We're going to see a lot of crazy shit. We're going to see like changes of the weapons, the way the weapons work. We're going to see new game modes come out of this. We're going to see everything under the sun. But for me, the most exciting thing is seeing the fact that we can have a Forge made map look like a in-game developed map from the developers themselves, right? And maybe
Especially that
sometimes
one
even
they showed
better.
off that cyberpunk map. Like, I just wanted to play on that.
Yeah, and
Like,
and that's from somebody we all know in the community, right? Like, it's one of the hosts of Xbox Era podcast. He, that's somebody you go watch the show. Just like, is a gamer. He got put on the Forge like consultant team, whatever they call that, right? So, which is awesome to see that somebody that we can actually hear talk about games as a Halo fan that is actually working on that, and that's something that he was able to produce, right? And they actually alluded to the fact that it didn't take him that long to make that map, as well. So the level of detail we can get with this compared to what we saw with Halo 5, like, I don't mind Forge maps if they look like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be insane because we're going to get the cream of the crop is going to get put to the surface, and that's the key things that we're going to have here is like, how's the filtering going to go? How are people going to be able to rank these things? How is it going to get shared throughout the community to where it's easier to find the best of the best? You know what I mean? And the custom game browser and stuff that's coming in November. In March, I wish that was going to be in November. However, I feel like there's going to be a lot of community awareness around the stuff that's going on with the Forge maps that are out there, and we're gonna to be able to discover these for ourselves, at least, even if we can only access them with custom games. So
Yeah, well, just because there's no game browser doesn't mean we can't find them. There might be a
Right.
file share. That's if they don't
They
have a
gotta-
file share, then
well,
it's
we
a
know there's a
problem.
file share system because you can share one object with somebody else.
Yeah, but
right.
is
So
it
you got to be
the
able to
launch of Forge. That's the question.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. That needs to be there because that's going to take it to the next level. And immediately, it was cut within at least custom games, it's going to fix content problem. The next step is for them to implement a way to make community created Forge maps a part of matchmaking with a custom playlist where they seek out the best of the best and they put it out in a playlist and let the communities play in these
ULTB
random
playlist.
maps, and then we can download them if we like them after the fact, right?
Yeah.
That would be the best way to
That'd be-
handle it.
That's probably the best way, like a
Well, that's the way Reach did it.
EOTB
Yeah.
playlist of some of the best maps.
Yeah.
I did want to hear like what you guys wanted to create when the Forge comes out. Because Mav, you said you had some ideas. I've always had the idea of making a Spider-Man game mode, like a race.
Well, with
Like
grapple
everybody
shot.
uses grapple shots and they like race across like New York or something like that. Like that's what I want to create.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about you guys. What do you want to create when Forge comes out?
Definitely, I want to go back to some classic Halo 3 Forge games. Like there was one that I didn't make the map in Halo 3 originally, but I'm remade it in MCC. It's called Drag Race, where you start. It's like a starting gate, like you would put like horses in, but it's all mongooses, and it's teams of two. There's a driver, and then a guy on the back. Whoever has the best gun, like a rocket or a brute shot, will get on the back, and you just go down a track, and the rocket or brute shot guy, or whatever good weapon he has, tries to blow the other mongooses away, and it's first to the finish line. It's called Drag Race. So
Hey, that's cool.
I wonder how long it would take to make something like a Halo Wars 3 or like an RTS style. Like, is that even going?
I don't know if you can change the view like of the camera.
oh, there'll be some way to do it eventually.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll probably
I'm sure.
find a way.
It's like Trials HD. Like it was a motorbike game, and people
Mhm.
made like third-person shooters in that eventually. So it's like
If you could start seeing like third person Halo come out of this, that will be an insane thing in and of itself, right?
give it like a year or two when people
Yeah.
really get the Forge down. Like you'll see some crazy shit.
So for me, I'm gonna go and try and recreate something we did back in the Far Cry days. I know I'm talking about Far Cry, right? Because it had these tools where you could make the custom game modes and stuff. And there was one mode where basically, like in Far Cry Instincts, you had predators, right? So they were like stronger and they could kill you with like one or two hits. You know, they had claws and they could jump really high and they're really fast, right? And then the other people, the other team, right? It was just like regular dudes with guns, right? And so there was like two predators, and they're trying to infiltrate a base and kill all of the humans, right? So we would build these maps, and we would have like a castle-like structure with like turrets and like rockets and everything possibly into the sun. But we gave the predators like a lot of health, you know, made them like really fast. So the predators would spawn really far away, and their objective was to rush in to the castle like area and try and kill all the humans. And if the humans all died, you lose as the humans, right? But if you kill a predator, then you get a respawn, right? So the object of the humans was to survive like 15 minutes or something like that. And if you survived as a team, you won. So my goal is to recreate that mode because it was one of the most fun times we ever had playing games, even though it was a custom creation. We had a blast. It kind of became like a phenomenon in of itself within the Far Cry community back then. And I want to make a map that's like one of kind of almost like a recreation of one of the ones I would make back then, where I kind of made it like dark and really spooky and eerie with like all these trees and kind of like an icy level, right? So it's kind of like, imagine like smoke, hazy fog effects with like trees, and it's dark at night. You have moon glow and the predators running through the trees, which I could imagine making like a bigger Spartan. I don't know if we'll get elites to use, but if we don't, I would make like a Spartans a little bit bigger and juice them up, have them run in with like swords or brute hammers or some shit, right? And then just have a fucking all-out arsenal for the other
I
team.
wish they brought elites back and
I
just
kinda
got rid of them.
Played a variant of that in Far Cry 2. Like, except in Far Cry 2, it was like the survivors were like, it was mostly like a jungle map, and like the survivors kind of like hid in a jungle or like try to find a cave or something to hide in, and were hunted by predators.
Right.
So,
There's different versions.
Yeah.
Like there's all these things, and we would
it's
trick
pretty much the Predator movie, but with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. That's what the whole thing
Yeah.
is like. And the way we did it, because there was a game mode where your objective was to like arm like a generator, and if you could arm it and it go off, then you would win. But what we do is we just put the generator like way up in the sky, so it was impossible to. So that made the time limit the objective, right? So if I could figure out a way to, I don't know if they're going to give the tools for gameplay wise to make it all happen, but regardless,
That's where the scripts come in.
I know, and somehow I want to recreate that feeling that game mode had, because I've never experienced that in another game since then, and I really want it. Like, so that's going to be my number one goal.
We should all just go play Far Cry 2 then.
Yeah, we could. I don't even remember Far Cry 2. I could recreate the exact same thing. I think it may have had to be Far Cry Instincts, but no, I mean, we could actually do that, like get a custom game going on Far Cry Instincts, and I could make that mode, and we could all try it, you know. But I don't know how many people out there own that game anymore. You know, it is back compat, so we'll see.
I don't know if the servers are even up for that, to be honest.
You know what? It's a
Maybe
360 game, so
if it's on PC, maybe they got the servers like someone can make. I don't know.
I know my maps are gone. I can't download my maps anymore or anything like that. So it sucks. Yeah. Thank goodness for the cloud now, right? We
won't have
the
Run Over the Stripper. That was a good Halo 3 map.
Run Over the Stripper?
Yeah.
That's Kate. That sounds like GTA. That's like
Kate's GTA.
Yeah.
It was pretty much an infection game mode, but the infection started with a bunch of vehicles, like any vehicle they want. Ghosts, warthogs were all there in a base, and there was a cannon man so that the humans couldn't get into the zombie base. And the objective was the zombies would come out of the base and try to run over the humans and kill them. So it was Run Over the Stripper.
Right on.
Yeah, it's like it's I call it infection also too.
And then there's Fat Man. Like I'm excited for that. Batman's a classic.
Yeah.
Above the bridge.
Imagine what these guys are going to do with the grapple shot and all this stuff now, though, right? Like, and all these Spartan abilities and how they're going to customize those. Like, it's going to be insane. It's going to be nuts.
There's also Ghostbusters on Ghost Town, I think it was called. That was a fun one.
Oh, with the Sentinel beams and stuff, you know?
No. It was a bunch of invisible people that could run really fast with plasma pistols, and there was one human that had to punch the ghost in the back, and the ghost would just like fuck with the human a bunch.
I wonder if
played one custom mode once where everyone was like invisible.
Oh
and
yeah,
they had like all swords or something. It was freaking
that was on
crazy.
Halo 5. We did that. I like stumbled upon that on accident, just messing with all the options. But that was like a really fun game. Everybody was invisible, and everybody had like, I think, snipers and swords.
There was Halo on Halo. That was a fun one too.
Wait, why would you have snipers if everyone's invisible?
Because like if you could go and like scope out and see far away, try and like while you're sitting there,
see little glimmers of light.
Yeah, try and look for any movement, stuff like that. It ended up being like binoculars and swords, right? It ended up being pretty sweet. But well, guys, did you have any
back down memory lane?
Yeah, did you have any ideas for something you want to make, Sour in Forge?
Well, for those of you that have already played around with Forge, are you able to import like audio and stuff like that? Or no? That's not an option.
No.
Probably not.
Most of the audio just came from the game. You might be able to have like audio, like kind of like how you do like particle effects, like fire and stuff. Like there may be audio boxes like that you can put out just to have like ambient noise in this one, but there hasn't been in the past, so I'm not too sure.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I got the perfect person. I got Silent Cypher. I could have made, got him to make some Master Chief audio and try to make like a mini story or something like that. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would be cool to do. Actually, like, I wonder if you could like do like themed levels where you actually progress through a level. You know what I mean? Using the scripts and stuff now. I bet you could do that if you do the Ghostbusters thing, Jasper. Maybe you could do like creepy like mansion, like 3-Bit was talking about making a mansion, and like you go through the mansion and then you have 4 players with sentinel beams trying to take out a flying grunt that looks like Slimer.
Okay.
and he's got a plasma pistol and he can like shoot at you. You get slimed. I can imagine.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
people can make story based games, I'm sure, with the scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
gonna be
definitely.
cool.
It reminds me of like Sackboy, like the tools, how deep that was, right? Little Big Planet, you know, how
Oh,
they
so PlayStation
gonna
did it
give them.
first. Got it.
They gave them a lot of scripting options, basically, right? And a lot of things where you could kind of make your own games within there. But guys, also, hey, moving on from that, some other exciting for some Xbox news. We got a new Elite controller announcement. Now this is
I'd
not
probably
the.
make like a theme park or something, maybe. I
Oh,
don't know.
sorry, babe, I didn't ask you. Yeah, what would you make? What would you make?
I was thinking like a carnival kind of thing or something. I don't know. I
Carnival.
wouldn't really probably worry too much about something that could be actually playable. Just something that would be cool, you
Like
know?
a creepy carnival.
Just
or
something to
like
explore.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That could be really cool, actually. Like a big Ferris wheel in the middle.
Yeah.
Of
Just no
Mhm.
clowns, please. No creepy clowns.
Well, I mean, if it's gonna be creepy, then you have to have some clowns.
If you make it, you could share that object, and then someone can maybe make it move for you or something like that too. So
Yeah.
Like a
Can you,
moving
like,
Ferris
you
wheel.
can't make custom like characters, right?
you can put up
Someone's-
objects together.
Because it'd be so cool to make like one with like, you know, like Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and
You could
like
make
hiding in different spots around the map.
yeah, like people made the Toy Story characters, for example. So I'm sure with enough objects, you can have like
Yeah.
a Michael Myers sort of just follow
Yeah.
you,
Mhm.
follow you around. I'm sure that's possible.
If they could get to the point to where somehow, like, let's say you take like 5,000 objects to make one ridiculous structure or building, if they could make it to where that could be snapped into becoming one object,
Oh yes. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that would change things
Yeah.
infinitely, because all you need actually is the surface terrain
Infinitely.
of that object. All the internals and all the shit that's combined could like disappear, and you just get around the. If they could, hey, 343, if you're listening, right? If
Do you
could,
want this to come out this year?
they could do this later. This is for adding on later. If you could
This is a
take
beta.
our created objects, right? Let's say I take like 5,000 objects to make that at right on Star Wars, right? And it looks amazing, right? Now, let's say we don't need all of the object stuff that was used to make it. We only need the outside, and that it created a new object. Why don't we just snap the image of that 3D image there and create it as a new object to be able to share? So that way it's only allocating one resource now instead of like 5,000. If that ever became a possibility, that the possibilities for this are completely endless, right?
I was learning Unity, and that's something that you can do,
Right.
and that really helps you liberate like a lot of resources. So that's pretty useful. If they can do that, that'll be
Yeah. It would be like
yeah.
freeing the creators for every resource, any issues with resources, right? Because you could at then point take the entire map of just the structure of the map and actually snap it, and it's just like an object, right? Like at that point. So anyway, I don't know, especially if it's scalability, right?
Can I ask you guys something real quick? Now that we're talking about the whole Halo Forge,
Mhm.
looking at this reminds me a lot like kind of like Roblox, where you kind of
Yeah,
like people go in
Fortnite
and-
creative also, yeah.
yeah, like they go in and create their own games. Could this be what really pulls in like other players that are not Halo fans into the franchise? And then, that can make it, be as big as they wanted it to be initially.
I think it will definitely bring some people like I think 343's focus on competitive play can push some social, like some casual players away. But I think so, yeah. I think once there's enough game modes out for people and they see how fun it is, and people start seeing clips of people swinging around Spider-Man and see
Yeah.
Toy Story, and it's like shared on TikTok, and I think that will bring a wave of new players. I don't know how much. I think a lot of players are just waiting for content for Halo right now. This will be that for sure.
See, I look at it
I
like
just-
Jasper. You go first because I'm going to destroy
I
both
just-
of your what you're
I
about to
just,
say.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just kind of look at it as like, if you look at Fortnite, you compare it to Fortnite. Fortnite brought people in with the battle royale, and it kept them with the map editors and the tools that they've added. Whereas Halo hasn't brought anyone in, so I don't know if this is just a tool to keep people, not bring them in. I feel like I don't know.
All right.
Oh,
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Because here, let me tell you, you and 3-Bit are an example of bringing people into Halo by crazy shit to begin with, right? Because your age group, when y'all started playing Halo a lot, was back in the old days, and Forge and custom games back then were a huge part of it. And that's why your age group specifically talks about all these damn crazy game modes that you used to play, where people like me that played a lot of Halo before Halo 3 were more like, I don't care about that crazy game modes. I just want the competitive shit, right? But like y'all's generation in and of itself was a huge reason why Halo took that next step with Halo 3, right? And it got all crazy with the Forge and making these like stuff like Griffball and all these other modes, the ones that y'all talk about like Fat Man and Run Over the Stripper and all that shit. I don't even know what that is, right? So okay, so imagine that now, but times a million, right? Because now you make the example, right? Sour Blow of Fortnite and Roblox, and I agree. And Minecraft is another one out there. Those already have huge user bases, right? But none of those games look anywhere near as good as Halo Infinite does, right? When those clips start getting shared all over social media and streamers start playing these crazy fucking game modes out of nowhere that is made by the community, and you can best believe there will be people streaming and making content and showing this insane modes and a game that looks as beautiful as Halo Infinite, it's going to make people be like, whoa, shit, that's free? Because remember, it's free to play. People can go into these game modes also, just like Fortnite and Roblox, and experience them without paying a dime. And there's no barrier to keep them away. So if they see something that's interesting, I feel like you're going to get more people to give it a try, right? Than not. And I feel like it has the chance to make Halo Infinite explode beyond what it's already at by creating that casual, crazy nonsense that's going to make people laugh out their asses and stuff like that when they're watching it. And that's what I think it's going to take.
I agree with Mav. I think if anything, this might pull away some of the hardcores. Like they might not like this, and I think a lot of the casuals are actually gonna, they're gonna see something's gonna catch their attention, and it's gonna bring a lot of people that, they're gonna be interested in one or two maps, and then they might stay trying other maps. And there's nothing right now like it. I mean, there's Roblox, Minecraft, like you said, but they don't look nothing like Halo.
Well, the other aspect though is like the best thing about this is the map editor. Like you're gonna have the hardcore people making stuff for that too. So I think it's gonna be good for like the people that like the competitive stuff also, right?
But that's the thing though. Like with these, if like a game mode gets popular, like a game comes out that goes viral or whatever, people are gonna play that, and once they're bored of it, they're like some people are gonna bounce around, but a lot of people are just gonna hop out when they're bored of it. Like
I feel like you're underestimating the creative talent that's going to be out there with tools like this, right? Where there's always going to be something different and new. I think you're going to have your new modes made out of this that are going to catch on and become like a phenomenon.
I just don't think people have an attention span to stick around for that long. They'll bounce around too much.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's why I'm saying, like, once the modes are established, because a lot of people do have short attention spans, but once people actually make the modes and it's just available to them for download, because some people are not going to want to mess with Forge. I want to mess with Forge. I'm sure Jasper wants to, and you want to mess with Forge. But like the casual gamer, when they sit down, then there's like, let me try out these modes.
Yeah,
they're just going to want it available to them. So I would give it like a few maybe months or so when the forgers start really learning how these tools work, and then when it's available to the actual like players and they could just press download and start playing these games, I think that's when you'll start getting a domino effect of new players.
Yeah, I think you'll see the things like Among Us and Halo Infinite and things like that too. We see that in Fortnite, we see like that in Roblox too. So you're gonna see like these interesting takes on other genres. But I think what's going to do it and it's going to catapult it is when we see a new mode that hasn't been created or done anywhere else that people get addicted to. Right.
Well, look at like Far Cry 5, for example. People made like GoldenEye in that, and like it's cool for like a week. It gets a headline in like Kotaku, whatever. People jump in, play it, and then like it's dead after that. Like, so that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if you compare it to other editors like this, where popular game modes come out in these, it only lasts like a week, and then no one kind of talks about it anymore.
Yeah, I just don't know. Well, from what I've seen before, this Forge, it just seems like more powerful than anything we've seen before. You know, like I don't know, like with the scripting and the abilities to kind of manipulate things and stuff. I personally feel like we're gonna see shit that's never been done before in map editors, right? And we can't even wrap our
like,
heads
you're gonna
around
get
it.
whole new games around this. That's I've been saying
Right.
this whole time. But
well, one of those games catch like a battle royale did, right? Like Griffball did on Halo 3, right? That like Halo 3, all of a sudden everybody started playing Griffball instead of freaking actual Halo, and I was like, what the hell is this Griffball thing? I don't even care about it, but like that's
that
all
was
anybody's
created
talking
by
about.
Rooster Teeth for Red versus Blue. And they
Right.
did like a tournament thing for that, so it kind of had some back end marketing and stuff
Right.
with that too.
We'll see, man. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, and it could end up, like you said, not becoming anything more than what we've seen before, right? With maybe it won't catch or something, but I just have a feeling, man, like these tools are going to be in the right hands, are going to create some magic and endless pipeline of content. It's exactly what Halo needs, especially if you can make it look as good as what we've seen today, and that's going to be sick, absolutely sick. All right, guys. Well, moving on. We did I had started to say because I forgot to ask Kate about her creation. We are getting a new Xbox Elite wireless controller as a new Series 2 controller, not a Series 3, right? We're not there yet. Apparently, they're not ready to pull the trigger on that.
They're just reinforcing parts of the controller.
Right. So they're
all they're changing.
Improving the build quality on the Series 2 controller, and they're making it available at a cheaper price by removing the things that make it a Series control, the Elite controller, with the case and the accessories. However, I do think it's a little bit of a good idea, because if you already have like a Series controller, then if you want to replace it at some point, you know, you don't have to go out and shell out $180. You can go cheaper and get the version for $130. Is anybody here interested in getting a Elite Series 2 core controller?
I'm never buying an Elite controller again.
No. 3-bit? Are you interested? You're on mute, bro. It's $130 and it's a Series 2. It has improved build quality, but it doesn't come with a case, and it doesn't come with like the paddles and stuff.
I was thinking like when they made it Elite 3, because Phil was like, wow,
Yeah.
I really like the PlayStation controller. I was thinking with the next iteration, they would start adding like these crazy vibrations and stuff within the controller.
Not there yet. Not there yet.
Maybe I was just thinking too far ahead. Yeah, I really like the feel of the Elite 2 controller, and I don't know how much they change it.
Do you still have an Elite 2?
For this iteration? No, because I broke it. But when I did have it, it was really nice.
It probably broke itself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it just started drifting and stuff, which I heard was like a common thing with these controllers. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna get this.
Pass. So we have 2 passes so far.
Pass for me, yeah.
What about you, Fuzz? Are you in the market for an Elite controller? And if you are, is this the one you would go for?
Wasn't in the market because I'm on my second Elite 2, and I'm happy with it. Like I got the original launch of the Elite 2. Also had an couple of Elite ones, but the vibration stopped working at the 2-year mark, so it was already past warranty, and there's no more like Microsoft stores for me to do like an exchange, because they'll still take care of it after the fact. But I'm gonna wait until this thing is in design labs, and I'm definitely going to wind up picking up a design lab one. and Jasper
Yeah.
kind of brought this up in the DMs. I'm not sure if they're going to have it where we can change like the button colors or the
I don't-
triggers and stuff.
They didn't show
reason-
that, so I don't know.
The reason I say that is one, they didn't show that, and two, they have to create a whole new tool set for bumpers and analog sticks and all that stuff. Like if you're going to
Mhm.
customize that, the only thing that they could keep would be the face buttons, like X and Y. Everything else is slightly different, so they'd have to create whole new tool sets for that design lab. So that's
Yeah.
why they're just doing the faceplate, I believe.
And this is also
Yeah.
more. This is the same like ergonomics of the Xbox One controllers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their entire design lab currently is probably being ran around Series controllers, right?
Mhm.
So I think you're right on that. I think it's just gonna be a color option, Jasper.
I'm hoping they do the anodized like D-pad and triggers. Like
Yeah.
if they do that, then yeah, I'm definitely picking up at least one. But yeah, I'm still going to wind up getting one in the design labs, even if it's just a faceplate, because since I can't pull like a faceplate off of the current one, I think it's going to be a little bit different setup in comparison, almost like the way Scuff does theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just wind up ordering one, and then that will be probably my go-to, and then the other one can go on like a shelf or something like that. But
Yeah.
it's
Right on.
a cool idea, cheaper entry point for those that already have a series controller. You know, this is a more affordable approach.
More palatable,
saying-
slightly. You know.
Yeah, but more, yeah, and I think kind of like what a few people were asking about before. I think by holidays you might see like Best Buy have it at 99 for the core in white or something.
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
I got
So-
mine for like 120 on sale, like
Yeah.
my Elite 2 with the case and all the buttons and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a lower starting price point, then the sales or make it more enticing to jump into. Sour Blow, what about you, dude? You have any Elite controllers? You had any trouble with them? You in the market for this one potentially?
Well, I haven't had any Elite controllers yet, and yeah, I already actually pre-ordered this one, so
Oh, nice.
I'm waiting for it. And actually, the reason why I'm right now I have no camera on because I'm currently moving to the basement, and I'm controller hunting because I'm trying to do a little setup, do a little decoration with some controls. So
Oh, sweet.
I'm working on something. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
can't wait to see
definitely
that, dude.
excited for it. Yeah.
So did they say when you're going to be able to get it? I know you pre-ordered it, but is it like a?
I think it comes out this month.
Not sure.
Not sure to be honest. I got it.
I thought I saw like someone post a shipping date of like 9/21 or something
Right
like
on.
that.
That doesn't seem like too
But
long of
I
a
could-
wait.
Could be wrong on that.
I don't think it's that long of a wait.
So the next question is, Caitlin, can I get an Elite Series core controller?
Can you just call me Caitlin?
Yeah.
Weird. Can you get one? Why would you want one?
I want one when the Design
And you know
Lab
what?
option comes out.
I kept seeing you tell people, I think it was like yesterday in one of your streams, that you just like playing with the little things.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
I'm a fidgeter, so one of
Well,
my
it doesn't
to
come with
do-
the little things.
well, no, it
do
still
the
has the
reviews
magnetic
of it.
D-pad, so you can still
Yeah.
take the D-pad on and off, and the thumbsticks you can still take them on and off. And when I
Was
had
that why
one,
your other one broke?
no, no, it's because the rubber grips fell off. The rubber grips came off, and it became like really uncomfortable to hold. So I don't even know where it is. I
On
couldn't
the-
have
on the
sold it,
website,
right? Because
says
it was
you
jacked
think
up.
9/21.
Okay.
921. Okay, right on,
Yeah.
Jasper.
Why don't you just say like, hey, I want to make a review of this controller. I want to tell my
Box it.
audience and unbox it and show it to my fun speculation audience.
Yeah, also you don't have to ask me.
I know. I'm just kidding. Xbox doesn't send me anything, and I don't even know who to contact. Like, hey, please send me stuff, Xbox. You know.
Is P3 on Xbox?
Hey, Phil, send stuff my way so I can unbox it for the
Oh, what are you talking
speculators
about? I
out
thought
there.
you were in talks with Major Nelson or whatever.
No.
Yeah, you are. You're well known.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was hilarious.
People from Playground watch this show, so
Do they?
you know.
But they watch them for you,
Yeah,
though.
3-bit.
3-bit,
He's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, well, besides me.
And shout out to Playground if you're watching. Love your games. Hit me up with somebody if you're watching somebody from Playground. Hook Hook me up with who do I get in contact with to get some free
Forza
shit around
controller.
here so I can I want to show your products. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I do want to get the Design Lab one when it comes out because those colors that they showed looked pretty damn sick.
You're not gonna make your own?
No, the Design Lab. Well, you can't customize it as much as you can like these. Like here's my custom Design Lab Xbox Ultimate controller here.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't do all this stuff, right?
But you can only choose from those 4 colors that they showed.
There may be a few more.
There may
but
be more,
That's probably
yeah.
That's about it.
Xbox Ultimate.
I would
Limited
also
edition.
like them to add the option to like add kind of like at least like lines and like different shapes and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
you can play around, because it's like I
Like
understand.
hearts or stars or something. Yeah.
I understand not letting people like upload images because then they might just put anything on
Put
it.
dicks and vaginas on their
Yeah.
controllers.
Yeah, I want a controller that's just dicks, so I hold dicks all the time.
but at least have some some options there that we can pick from and play around.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
an approved user pick or something like that.
Yeah. They could put some on there. There's some artists that stuff that they create or something. It'd
They,
be-
they should also add the consoles there. That'll be awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I've posted a couple of times on Twitter, like, make it so those that are definitely trying to wait for one. I mean, yeah, I guess it might make it a little bit harder as far as the queue time. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to be 8 weeks before you get your console, but at least you'd be guaranteed, and you can get like possibly the color shell that you would want, and they could probably not, trying to post that they can make more money off of people, but have it where whatever the customization charge is, whether it's $50 or less or something like that. Like, hey, I want a Series S, but I want it in purple, and I want the speaker portion or the vent portion in like gray or something like that. And all right, in 8 weeks your console comes to you and it'll be $329 delivered or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
I just hope they did fix some of the build quality. They talk about the build quality, also given a 1-year warranty on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping if there's any issues with those controllers, people can get them replaced.
One day that they'll adhere to my requests of making it like a PS5 controller. And here's the thing: I don't like
what, like the shape or the
analog
haptics?
sticks?
The haptics. I don't like
Oh.
the shape. Never, no.
I personally don't like the haptics. I thought I was gonna love haptics. I really did. I was actually capping for haptics. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool, man. Like, what are you guys all arguing about, like haptics and stuff? I don't think it's worth paying extra for haptics, like on a game, like charging $10 extra because of haptics, whatever. However, I thought it was going to be really awesome. However, like when I was playing all these games on the PS5, I just didn't enjoy it. It actually became more of a distraction in most of the games for me. So not to say that's for a lot of people might like it. So the issue is if you make that only available in like an elite controller, it's only going to be so many people that have that, and to have to implement those features in your games to support such a small amount of people that are going to have it.
Yeah.
I think if they do that, it needs to be in the next iteration of whatever the primary controller is, right? Not just something that's only going to be for like 1% of the Xbox community. You know what I mean, right? Because at that point, it's like a waste of dev time.
Well, that's also
You know?
I think what PlayStation's facing right now is like some of their like a lot of third-party games don't do it because they're like, we're making it for Xbox too, so like why are we going to put that extra feature in there, whatever, So like,
Yeah, we know Phil is a
Like,
fan of
that
haptics
time.
though. He likes it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking like, oh, maybe the next iteration they'll put some of those haptics in there, but
Maybe the
yeah,
like
it's not a big deal.
whatever the next iteration of the series control Xboxes are could come with a different slight controller upgrade. At that point, there'd be enough of them out there that would be worth putting the dev time in there.
I would prefer if they do any upgrade is analog sticks, make it an optical potentiometer, so that's the same kind of analog stick that the N64 had. Potentiometer?
A what? A potent?
It's the thing that's the analog stick inside is called.
That's
What
a very
word?
pretentious
How do you
word.
spell that?
Potentiometer. I have no idea how to spell it, but that's what it's called.
Potentiometer.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah.
Potentiometer, I think.
Hi
they
guys,
say.
I
Anyway.
really think you need to improve your potentiometer on this next iteration of the series controllers.
My phone just wanted to know what I was saying. That was weird.
Anyway, make it an optical and the same one that the N64 had. That's going to sound weird, but the N64 had the best analog stick. It had 0 stick drift because it was like
Because of the potentiometer.
yes, because of the potentiometer.
I
Right.
wanted to use that word in sentences that have nothing to do with controllers.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, it had 0 stick drift on the N64 when it was like technology kind of like ahead of its time, and yeah, it was just like it tracked your movement based on like I think like the bottom part of the analog stick or something. It was really weird. It's been a while since I like looked at the breakdown of how it works, but the new ones they can all get stick drift as people have seen.
Well,
look who's
Pong
showing
Soul
up.
has finally made it. Hey, Pong, did you know about the potentiometers?
What are we talking about?
Potentiometers.
Potentiometers. You never heard of it?
What's
Hold on, what are we talking about?
what's your
There we
thought
go.
about potentiometers?
Potentiometers?
Yeah.
Is that a made up word here
That
or what?
well, no, this is a real word. I want to know. Joe, nobody tell me any information here because I know you're really familiar with this. Pong Soul, tell us all about potentiometers and what they're doing for the gaming industry.
Well, what you see is that is going to increase engagement exponentially as we move forward. Both not only from the gamer side, but from the publisher side as well.
Oh, wow. The
Potentiometers are the future. And again, when we look into the crystal ball in Speculation Town, that's all that pops up is potentiometers. So
Yeah.
that's how we know that this is going to impact this entire industry and really, really change the entire world for the better. That's what this.
That's incredible.
I couldn't agree more, man. Thanks for that deep insight. Welcome to the show, Pong. How's it going? Did you have a safe drive home?
Yeah, I did.
I guess you're here, so I guess yes.
I am. Yes. No, I was in a severe accident. I've lost all my limbs, but I'm still here because that's how dedicated I am to Xbox Ultimate. So I'm here.
Appreciate you.
I'm bleeding right now. So
Are you?
If I pass out, you guys don't want.
There's the fucking Wikipedia article for you assholes.
Potentiometers. All right, everybody wants to learn about potentiometers. Jasper's got it in the chat, and
Actually, guys, go right here.
yeah.
I was right.
Well,
Hey, 3-bit.
Hey.
You're on the show. Great to see you, brother. Great to see you.
It's good to
Check
see
your DMs. Check your DMs right now, and I want to know if you had anything to do with that, either what you're seeing or any part of it. Okay, so I just want to know. Sour Blow, great to have you here too, brother. Thanks for jumping in tonight. I know Mav was kind of shorthanded and looking for people, but it's great to see you as well, sir. As you know, the rest of the family too. Love you all.
Not
Thank
this
you,
one,
Pong.
but there will be another one.
Okay,
Nice.
Yeah.
fair enough. Red or blue?
Red.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
better. All right, so hey,
That's the improvement I want with the series controller, by the way.
right, the potentiometers.
Jasper really wants to talk about this now, guys, because he's right and he wants to prove that he's right and he didn't make up that word. So now he really wants to talk about
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
it's a real word. I just believe it's one that nobody ever uses, and except for Jasper. But I'm glad he has educated us on this. So now we all know. But
Now you know what to ask for. If you want better, now you know what to ask for. Okay.
Right. Xbox
Could we
for the next controllers. Can you please start using potentiometers?
They already used them, but
and keep that tensioning thing that they have on the Elite Series 2
Yeah.
as well. So
We need-
potentiometers and tensioners.
Tension potentiometers. we need potentiometers with tension, please. Well, this is a great time that you showed up. Oh wait, yeah. What 3-bit?
I was just gonna say that sounds like a good idea though. I don't know why like newer controllers always have stick drift over time.
Yeah.
And then you have to get a new controller. Then by the end of it, you have like 10 Xbox controllers that you pick which one works. Like I feel like this potentiometer is something that Phil needs
It's
to
the
look
key.
into.
All they got to do is look into the past, obviously,
Yeah.
right?
The
The
N64,
answer's
all my
like-
N64 controllers have while they did like destroy my thumbprint,
Yeah.
I feel like my thumbprint is actually the N64 thumbsticks. While they did that, it at least it still works. Like I could go back and play my N64 and it still has the sticks still work and everything. So they did something right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well. This is a perfect time for Pong Soul to join in the conversation now because we got the next topic at hand. We got a little show today from Disney and Marvel. This is Disney and Marvel Games Showcase, and it was a little show, and it had some games, and we're going to talk about that showcase. What was the
What's there to
takeaways?
talk about?
Well, exactly. Now there was new game reveal. They had 10 seconds of different games that they showed, and there are a couple things that were a few highlights. One was they did show some actual gameplay from Aliens: Dark Descent, which is the first time I've seen that personally, and I thought that it looked pretty sick. I'm excited about it. However, they didn't really tell us anything else about the game or anything other than it's coming next year. They did reveal the new game. I've been telling everybody there's going to be a new game reveal at this showcase from Amy Hennig's studio, Skydance Media, and we got that information. It turns out the rumors that were swirling yesterday were true. It is a Captain America and Black Panther World War II style game with two other characters that are being introduced here. I don't know if they are 100% from lore already in the comics. I know one of them is from the Howling Commandos, and the other one is from the Elite. I forget the name of the. It starts with the M 3-bit. Help me out. The badass Wakandan ladies.
Oh, her name was started with an N. It was like Nile or something like that.
Yeah, but the group has a name, and it's like I can't remember, but it's the spies. You know what I mean? The spies, the group, and they go out there and do shit. Anyway, so it's we got a spy, a soldier, a hero, and a king, right? The Black Panther character is actually T'Challa's grandfather. And we have Steve Rogers, which is a young Steve Rogers, just became Captain America, probably. And then I think it was Gabriel Jones.
Yeah, I think so.
Was the Howling Commando. And we also have I can't remember the lady's name. It's Nanali or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so this game, we didn't really get much information about it other than it's a AAA action adventure game. Amy Hennig says if you're familiar with her games, you know what to expect here. Although they also did go into the fact that it's going to be very welcoming by a large amount of people and welcome the masses into this world. So I'm thinking the ease of access is going to be pretty simple with this game as well. What was takeaways? Because Pong just got here, we'll start with you. What was your takeaways from the showcase? Was it overall a disappointment, and was there something that stood out to you as a positive?
Listen, this is why format is so important when we talk about shows, and you know me, I take all shows in their own vacuum, so I don't judge them against anything else.
Yeah.
But this is why, because pacing wise, it was done very well, right? Quick hits, in and out, putting out a lot of games in a short amount of time. However, you can be too fast. And I think in this case, they highlighted the wrong set of games when they did take the time to highlight the games. A game like Aliens Dark Descent, if they have that kind of gameplay, and we did see brief gameplay when it was first announced, there was some actual gameplay, but this time around they showed us a little bit more gameplay. But these are actual levels. You can tell that this game is pretty far along already. You should be highlighting those instead of spending 2 minutes on a trailer for a mobile game where you show no gameplay whatsoever, right? That should be the brief one versus where you have some substance there of a big franchise in Aliens that a ton of people are interested in, not just myself, right? So I think that's what happened with this show. They focused way too much on the mobile and didn't give us enough of the good stuff. And I think that they probably showed the Captain America and Black Panther game, Amy Hennig's game, too soon. I don't think they should have shown that yet because they don't even have a name for it.
Yeah.
Look, don't come on. I mean, I know Amy was there. I know she's excited to talk about it. It's a big game for Skydance. I get all that. But come on, if you guys don't even have a name that you can release for the game, you probably should just hold that back then and wait for a different time. And I think there was probably some other things, again, that they could have expanded upon and replaced that with. So, yeah, for me, I think I saw cool things in there. It was great to see Midnight Suns again. Again, that's a game that I was hyped about, then became really unhyped about, and now I'm back on the hype train, kind of like you, Mav, again. And it was great to see that they came out with a release date. We all thought this was pushed to 2023. Well, for last gen consoles, it is pushed till 2023 at least. But for current gen and PC, we are getting it this year, which was awesome to hear. I mean, December 2nd, 2022, that's big to have that game falling. It's not going to be for everybody. Obviously, Firaxis games aren't. But it's still going to be a big game for a lot of us at the end of the year. So that was really cool. I think overall the show wound up just feeling blah. It felt like, meh, why did you guys have this? What was the point of this, really, at the end of the day? So that's where I wound up with the show overall for me. But again, seeing Midnight Suns was fantastic. I was hyped about the Tron game because I thought maybe we were getting a big Tron experience. I thought even maybe like multiplayer Tron. Like I thought maybe this was the start of something big because they said wish list on Steam. So I was like, we getting some kind of Tron MMO style game here. And then I read up on it and it deflated everything. I mean, I'm still cool with it. It's a narrative driven game. That's fine. I started playing narrative games more because some of the greatest ones have come out recently, like As Dusk Falls. But I'm still hit or miss on those games. So for me right there, that's like that's going to be a 50-50, even though Tron's one of my favorite franchises. And I would love to see Tron come back to video games. But Midnight Suns, Alien Dark Descent, I don't know, Mav, if you looked at the screenshots that like Wario and stuff pulled from that short gameplay trip, I'm already going to say it. I'm just going to go out because we do that here in Speculation Town. I'm going to say this is probably going to go out, come down as one of the best Alien games we've ever gotten. Just by the looks of what they're doing with this as far as a strategy multiplayer type game, but just the screens and the on-screen UI, there is a lot going on. And this looks like it is going to be really, really leaning heavy into the lore of Aliens, and they're taking straight from the movies. And if it has the sounds from the movies, which I imagine it will, since Disney owns Fox, there's no reason why it shouldn't. You're talking about just the mixture of one of my favorite movie franchises with a game type play that I absolutely love the hell out of. So I'm super excited for that as well. None of the mobile games really did anything for me. I thought we would get some fresh clips from Avatar. We didn't get some fresh clips from Avatar. We got the Avatar mobile game that Jasper's all hyped about and thinks it's going to be game of the year.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did. I heard you. Don't worry. but no, I mean, there wasn't really anything out of the mobile section that really grabbed me at all. Again, the Amy Hennig game, I'm not a superhero guy anymore, so it is what it is. I love Amy Hennig, and I know the writing is going to be phenomenal there, but we still don't know anything about the game. And those characters, honestly, I don't care about them. So in any way, shape, or form. So for me, it's like, meh, but I'm happy for all the Marvel fans that are getting more Marvel and, I mean, I know people love Captain America. No, people love Black Panther. So, hey, you guys are getting something new and it's from one of the best writers in video games. And if it's what they're describing or what she was trying to describe while she was on stage, that this is not going to go away from the Uncharted style, and it's going to be a single player adventure game, but that's going to be obviously narrative, like a movie almost, because that's what the Uncharted's were, then cool. I mean, there's going to be a lot of happy Marvel fans out there if they pull this off. So overall, though, again, the show, it wasn't worth it. There was no reason to have this show. This could have gone out as individual kind of announcements on social media. You didn't need to have a show for this one.
Yeah. Hey, babe. Like, you got a chance to watch the show with us today, right? I don't know if you're still there or not right now, but if you are, I was going to ask you about the was there anything that actually got your attention from this, or because you're not, the reason I'm asking you specifically right now is because there's certain things that like people like me were really looking forward to this, but like this show for me was intended for like a wider audience as well, like trying to capture people that are into all these different genres and all this kind of stuff. Was there something in this show like that even got your attention?
Just that like Mickey and Minnie thing at the very beginning. I don't even remember what it was called.
That was on the Switch. Yeah, that's a Switch
It's called
game.
Illusion
Island?
Illusion Island, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked cute, but that was about it, honestly.
Right. So, yeah, I don't feel like this paid that. Actually, they got more time. That game got more time than most games in this entire show. Actually, I feel like that and the Avatar mobile game got a lot of time.
I was really disappointed that was a mobile game.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun, right? Like, why not bring that to consoles and ramp it up a little bit? You know, like I don't get it.
It looked pretty fun, actually, the Avatar game.
Yeah, Jasper's like, well, just play it on your phone, damn it. I'm like, I don't want to play games like that on my phone, Jasper.
I said you could just play it on your PC because that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, with the controller and stuff, can you do that with like the Android app on your PC? You got to emulate it or something?
You can get emulators that work with controllers, yeah.
It's too much work, bro. Like,
it is a bit to set up, but
yeah. It's
oh, never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
No,
Won't it look like butt though if you play it on your PC when it's made for a little phone?
Yeah, it'll look like ass. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
probably.
It'll
you
be
can
like
turn up the settings a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it'll look like
the
ass.
the grass will be slightly more flat.
I mean, it looks like a 360 game at the end of the day, but if you can deal with that, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, why can't they
Can't deal
just
with that.
that was one of the more promising gameplay wise games that we saw. Like, it could have been if it's on console and PC. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like they actually had something there. You know.
Fingers crossed that the Ubisoft version shows tomorrow.
You think? Oh, at the Ubisoft Forward show, yeah. They just wasn't mentioned, but they could. You know, I feel like it's time. Isn't that supposed to be one of their big games coming out next year?
Yeah.
Early next year?
I'm not sure because I know the movie got delayed, so the game kind of got
The game
pushed a
got
bit.
delayed too, yeah.
Yeah, the game got delayed.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be early 2023 still, right?
The movie is still coming
I
out.
think they
this
just
year,
said
though.
23. I don't know if
I
they
23.
said
don't know if
early.
it's early.
Avatar
Okay.
comes out December, right?
Next year?
The
Or
movie.
This year.
Yeah.
This year. The
Yeah.
Avatar movie.
I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft is, if they don't show that, they're kind of missing the boat a little bit. There's a lot of things we're going to get into the UB Forward showcase a little bit later, but was there something that grabbed your attention today, Fuzz, at all?
I guess mobile gaming is on everybody's mind as far as these companies now. So yeah,
Right.
I mean, I know I'm saying this in jest, but it I felt like throwing my phone in the trash can. It's like, come on, seriously?
Right.
Why? I get it. Yes, there are people that only play on their phone, but this showcase, I'm gonna be blunt. It seemed like a waste of time. Like I think it was way too early for whatever they were going to discuss if they didn't have anything even CGI level to show. Like, we know that there's a Star Wars game being made by, Massive from Ubisoft. It would
Or
be
show
nice to
Fallen Order because that comes out in 6 months or whatever.
Well, they showed clips of it, but they didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, how do you miss that? Like, it just seemed like this was a bad idea all around. Like, I got the sense that whoever was in charge of putting this show together, even though Disney has been in the gaming space before, it's almost like whoever they hand the keys to do this has no idea about gaming, like, or what would appeal to their primary audience. I guess they were trying to go for the phone audience, which I guess is a little bit different, but someone mentioned it earlier, like, if you're a phone gamer, are you really looking at these showcases type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wonder if it's like, maybe the thing is, like, a lot of the big games that we were hoping for, they're made by like EA and Ubisoft, and they're saving it for their own show, where like, they may just give like a quick like title trailer, kind of like they did today, but they're not going to give you the whole like 5-minute gameplay because
But
they're
Disney
making the game.
owns the IP. Listen, Disney, if they wanted to, they could say, "Look, we're putting a clip up." I mean, it's their IP,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, you don't have to show you don't have to do the full big presentation or anything like that. But to have a 2-minute clip of gameplay from these types of games, like Fuzzy's talking about, especially Jedi Survivor, I mean that should have definitely been shown today. You're absolutely correct. That would be easy for Disney to request because it is their IP. There's no way these companies are going, no, we're not going to give it to you. Oh, okay. Good luck signing another contract.
Yeah.
Even Spider-Man, like they own Spider-Man. So
Yeah, they had like small clips of Spider-Man, nothing of Wolverine, obviously. They had small clips of Star Wars Eclipse, but we know that that's kind of taken a hit as far as delays because of the staffing and I guess the acquisition stuff with Quantic Dream. The Spire thing kind of is being handed off to what is it? Not Savage. What's the other company? Saber.
Yeah.
So like nothing from them was even shown, and I can kind of understand why, but it's like there was just so much stuff that seemed like there should have been more to it. Like this wasn't even something that I would say is like commercial level. Like this isn't even like ad level worthy before video on YouTube kind of thing. Like not to knock, those involved with it, but it was like in my opinion, a waste of time and waste of resources and money. Like if stuff isn't ready to show, don't bother putting something together because it's kind of turned me off from ever wanting to hear anything about Disney until, I guess the studios themselves decide to give us more than just a peek behind the curtain kind of thing.
Well, I think in their defense, like this is their first promoted showcase kind of. So like I think they were kind of structuring it how they do some of their other shows where they like show off their like film and like anime shows and stuff where they just kind of hit you with one. So I'm not too sure if they understood the format completely that gamers were expecting out of that.
Good point. Man, hopefully better things for the next showing when they actually show, I guess, Spider-Man 2 and Star Wars from Massive or Wolverine or any of the other stuff that we know is kind of going on in the background, or even Indiana Jones. Like, come on, really? That not even that talked about?
Well, I think a lot of those are being saved for the individual people's shows as well. I just think that like I expected a show. I expected the games that we got to be like what we got. What I didn't expect is to get only like 10 seconds of each damn game, right? And no information about any of them. Sour Blow, like overall, like did you have a chance to watch this showcase today? This 20-minute thing, and was there anything positive you took away from it whatsoever?
I started watching it when they were showing Monkey Island, so I didn't get the full showcase.
Yeah, you didn't miss much before that. So.
No, you missed Tron and Illusion Island. That's all you missed.
Yeah,
if you caught it there.
Okay. If anything, I would say what this showcase did was actually because I was pretty hyped with all the rumors of the Annie Hagen game. As soon as they said Captain America and Black Panther, I was extremely hyped. But the way they showcased it, I think it wasn't the best way. And it did all the contrary. Instead of hyping me more for the game, like I was like disappointed. I'm like, the style of the game wasn't what I was expecting either. Hopefully, it happens kind of like Guardian of the Galaxy, where I kept seeing these trailers and none of them caught my attention. But then when I actually play the game, it was a great game. So that's what I'm hoping for this game. But it wasn't the best showcase.
I think the coolest thing that we saw was actually not even anything to do specifically with the game. It was the YouTube shorts that was announced for Midnight Suns. Because that 80s style, like cinematic intro was just like eye candy out the ass for me. It was amazing. And I was like, I want to play that. I want to play that. And it's like, oh, it's a YouTube short series of shows. But I'm going to get interested in that. It'll kind of get us into the characters and stuff, a little bit about the story that's going to happen. So I think that was a good idea. And what I did see from the Midnight Suns gameplay, which was just little short segments in there, got my interest even more with that game, so I'm excited for that.
Man,
as
I know-
well.
did you notice? Sorry, Jasper.
You're good.
Did you notice with Midnight Suns when they were showing the gameplay, they no longer had the hand of cards up in front of you? It was only a single card popping up. Did you happen to notice that?
Yeah, there was a few. I noticed there was shots where
think
there was
they
a
made some
few, and they like
changes.
kind of highlighted the
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah. But it wasn't like the first playthrough we saw, right? This was
Mhm.
more almost. It was almost a more strategy type XCOM
yeah.
look.
It had the
And-
camera
and
was
I'm-
pulled back a little bit more,
Correct.
right?
Correct. I'm wondering if they did some changes there. It'll be interesting to see.
I hope so. I saw
Sorry, Jasper,
typical.
I
I saw
Dude.
like typical like area of effect type
Yes.
tactics gameplay where you're choosing how to place it and highlight the different enemies and stuff that are going to be impacted.
I will admit, like when we first saw Midnight Suns, I was like very critical. I was like, we saw the trailer and then we saw the gameplay. I was like, oh, this doesn't seem very interesting. But for some reason, like seeing it at this showcase, maybe it was the one standout, and maybe that was the reason. Like this game, being the way it was, comparing it to everything else in the show, it made me pay more attention to it, I guess. And for some reason, this showing makes me want to try it now.
The thing
So,
that
it
kind of
did
turned me
something
off of
right.
it today, though, is like how deep the RPG is. Where like you have to go train with Blade to level up your friendship and your character.
Yeah.
Like if you have to do that for like 20 different superheroes, it's like that's going to get really old.
For Access,
Well, I don't mind that.
For Access said that you're going to be able to kind of pick and choose though, Jasper, because you're going to have your main team, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have your favorites, and so you're probably just going to spend your time with them and leveling them up. So I think it's probably not going to be like you're thinking about it, like you have to go level up everybody. You're going to have your main squad with a couple of reserves that you kind of power up or whatever the case may be. But I do understand, because that was one of my complaints too. I'm like, why do I want to have relationships? I want to go play. But this is for Access. Look, that's why Mav and I are back on the hype train again. I think both of us agree on this point. This is for Access. I have a lot of faith in for Access. This is their first game since XCOM 2. That's been a long time coming. This is their A team. This is not their secondary team. So I'm putting a lot of faith in for Access that they are going to create something that's compelling. Whether you're in that mode where you're having those conversations and building those relationships, or whether you're on the battlefield, I have faith that they've got some cool mechanics that will make it worth it and won't make it seem like a slog. Kind of like the base building in XCOM. Base building in XCOM was kind of fun, right? The strategy behind it, there was reasons behind it, and you really had to think about it. So I'm hoping that they bring that kind of same mentality here, just with obviously superheroes. So we'll find out.
I just thought it was funny before the show started. Pong was in the chat. I was like, "Do you think we're gonna get over 25 Marvel games?" I'm like, "Dude, we're getting like 6."
That was my over under. Of course, I was joking, but there were so many rumors flying around. Like we were to see Iron Man here, right? There was all sorts of stuff flying. That's why I put that in there.
Yeah, we didn't see EA's Black Panther game either, right?
I think this show may have got a little too much hype attention to it, and
Well,
I
they
think it
did
kinda-
put out a tweet like Disney Marvel Games Showcase this day, new game announcements, and
I think
and
a lot of
stuff
people
like
skipped
that,
over the Disney part of it too, though. It's like Disney
Well,
and
shit.
Marvel.
If they announced a cool Disney thing, I'm all for it. But it's like it was a lot of mobile, which I don't necessarily. I agree. Like, all gamers are gamers, right? I'm not saying you can't have mobile shit there, right? But like the stuff that they had there was like, as there's a certain amount, and the pacing was good. I thought Blessing did an amazing job with his part with hosting, right? But when he went and it went to the game. The games were just like 10 seconds of something, and then it's just on to the next game. So where the pacing was okay, as far as like that's how you do it, go game to game to game, they needed to spend at least a little bit of time on the actual damn game, right? There was it was just like, hey, remember this thing we're making? Oh, hey, remember this is something else we're making. This is something else we're making. Hey, check this out. We're making this. Look at this one. We're making this. And there's like, okay, yeah, we know this. Thanks for this. 5 seconds of information of the actual game before I have to move on to the next one. Like I just felt like it was rushed, and there was no reason to keep it down to 23 minutes. Like they could have had
23. You got to keep it 23 minutes.
It was 23. Wow, that's a good point.
Shizno did bring up something that nobody's mentioned yet, but I did forget about it too. Was the kart racer? The kart racer did look cool. I'll give it that.
Speedstorm, yeah.
Speedstorm, yeah. That looked like it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I was
So
wondering
they've
if
got
it
a lot
could
of
be
characters.
the multiverse. What multiverses is to Smash, like
Yes.
what this could be to Mario Kart. You know what I mean?
It's obviously gonna come down to technicalities, right?
Yeah,
So
how good it is.
Multiverse.
That and
nailed.
microtransactions. if
Correct.
they-
Correct. But
if they ruin it.
Multiverse nailed the online portion, which Nickelodeon didn't. That's why Multiverse took off. Because remember the hype behind
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. You guys are hyped for it too. And then the online sucked and it, died.
That's the only game I've
First
ever
game-
asked for a refund.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
same.
right.
The first game I ever asked for a refund. And I was so disappointed.
Yeah, you
They
were
even-
so
they-
hyped
they-
for that 3-bit. You were talking about it for months,
I know, yeah.
and I
That
blame
game
you
let
for
me
buying
down.
it.
I was really hyped for it. I mean, I
Yeah.
love Nickelodeon, cartoon characters, and then like you play the game and it like
It
that. I'm
didn't
pretty sure
even
that was
work.
streamed. Everything was laggy. It was quiet. Like
We were
the
in different
sounds when you're
spots.
fighting.
Yeah,
We're in different spots. It was just like awful. I know they fixed some of those stuff now, but it's like too late for me. Multiverse has got it down right. Like the online, I played like the alpha. It was smooth like back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
It's
finally
like a
fixed the
seamless
hitboxes
experience.
on that game
Yeah,
too.
they fixed it too. I was
You
playing
mean
it
if
yesterday.
you're gonna make a big brawler, you got to have really good online?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. In 2022, no way.
I know. What do you know?
One of the things I also love about multiverses is their like grinding mechanics. Like I feel like I can grind to buy the characters that I want. It doesn't feel like I gotta
Mhm.
play forever. Like I
Yeah.
think they got it down pretty good.
Yeah, I think that this game's taken off like crazy, right? So
Fantastic game.
I almost wish it didn't, so that way it'd make it more likely that WB Discovery would sell off their games divisions, right? Because I feel like the success of this one game is going to keep them holding on for as long as possible. And if this game didn't hit, they would have been like, okay, we got to move on from the games companies. We're going to sell them off. And like a way, I feel like it's almost a disservice to us that this game is actually being successful.
How are they going to make their movies without having the games division though? So this
I don't
is a
know,
Square
man.
Enix situation. They're robbing the games division to pay for their movies.
Exactly.
right?
That's what. And
exactly
what's happening. And shout out though. I don't know if y'all saw Ed Boon's tweet just a little while ago. He just posted. Ed Boon from NetherRealm, creator of Mortal Kombat, all Injustice, all these amazing games. Posted, hey, what do you want to see next from us? And he posted Injustice 3. DC, what was the other? Marvel versus DC, the next Mortal Kombat, or there was one other option. And he, within like 10 minutes, he got like 10,000 votes, right? And he was like, holy shit, I didn't expect this, but there's interesting things going there, but it does make me question, like, wonder if he's just testing the market to see like how their announcement's going to go, right? Because I would hope to God that they've already know what they're working on, right? I mean, there's been a few years now, so I'm hoping so, but that would be bad if it wasn't. Anyway, moving on from.
Let me do this real
Yeah.
quick, Mav, too. Just because a lot of people are hyped for Aliens Dark's Descent, and I saw
Yeah.
Shizno in there talking about whether or not it's going to be RTS or action or whatever the case.
It's
I don't know why
tactics. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know why we haven't looked this up before. But they got the whole descriptor, and I thought it was going to be multiplayer. It's not multiplayer. Okay, all right, cool. I thought it was going to be a co-op game. When
I
we
thought it was
first
like the
saw it.
Ascent.
Yeah, it's what I thought too. It's not
Yeah.
at all.
I think
On
it's
the
a
Steam
tactics
page.
game.
Here's the Steam description, so everybody knows, because a lot of people are hyped for this game. So I'm going to give it to you. So again, this is by Tindalos Interactive, is the developer, and they did Armada 2, Battlefield something, Armada 2 for PC, and it's published by Focus. So Focus has been doing a lot of publishing lately, by the way. But here it is. It is a single player. In Aliens Dark Descent, command a squad of hardened Jesus, can I speak tonight? Colonial Marines to stop a terrifying xenomorph outbreak on Moon Leith or Leth. It's one of those two. Lead your soldiers in real-time combat against iconic xenomorphs, rogue operatives from the insatiable Wayland Yutani Corporation, and a host of horrifying creatures new to the Alien franchise. You are the commander, they are your weapon. Infiltrate large open levels and annihilate enemies with your squad, dispatching orders strategically and intuitively at the touch of a button. Tread carefully as your foes will adapt their tactics to your actions while hunting you down because death is permanent. Forge unique paths for survival, uncovering shortcuts, creating safe zones, and setting up motion trackers in a persistent world where your actions impact levels forever. Customize your squad with a selection of different classes, level up and specialize your soldiers with unique abilities and an arsenal of weapons, armor, and perks for high-stakes missions in treacherous territory. Develop your base to research new tech and improve your squad further. Manage your resources wisely and take calculated risks to outsmart the deadliest creature mankind has ever faced. Can you and your squad stop the outbreak before it's too late? Face off in gripping original Alien story against iconic xenomorph creatures, ranging from facehuggers to Praetorians, alien queens, and many more, including rogue human commandos and a brand new threat unique to this Alien storyline. Lead strategically and change squad tactics from mission to mission, carefully managing your soldiers' health, resources, and sanity to avoid permanent team losses and mental breakdowns. Forge unique paths for survival in a persistent world, covering shortcuts, creating safe zones. We've got all that. Assemble and level up your squad, composed of 5 starting Marine classes with dozens of specializations, unique abilities, and weapons. Mav, this game was made for us, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Permanent death, huh?
Yeah, it's like an XCOM Aliens game.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but I think it's going to be. I don't know how turn-based it's going to be, or if it's going to be on the fly where you can pause it and then do the strategy. But
it's a CRPG slash CRPG slash tactics, kind of like Divinity, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of like Breach and Clear.
Breach and Clear. That's a good one too. Yeah. What'd you say, 3-bit?
I was saying, did you say something about like the soldier's mentality? Like,
yeah, you got to keep their mental health up too, otherwise they have breakdowns.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They have that mechanic in a lot of tactics games where people can get scared and get fear, and they get like in this little coward state.
They got them in Darkest Dungeon too. If you guys remember Darkest Dungeon, that side scrolling kind of strategy. All right, not strategy game, but turn-based. But you had to watch the mental state on your people too, otherwise they would not be able to come to the next dungeon with you. So it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, this sounds fantastic to me. I mean, I wish it was a multiplayer game, kind of like The Ascent. That's what I thought it was at first. I would be down for that as well. But this sounds right up my alley. So I'm happy. This is gonna be
cool. I love the Aliens franchise. And Aliens franchise is one of those franchises where it can be multiple genres and fit pretty well. So wow, that actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Can't wait next year, 2023. Another one.
2023. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
When I just think about 2023, it's insane.
Yeah, we're gonna be. It's gonna be nuts. Thanks to Game Pass, it'll help save some money, right? But like, still gonna be a lot of games to buy and play next year, or the first half of next year alone. It's gonna be nuts. But guys, we're getting into our favorite topic here. Good old console wars, the real ones, the actual battle.
I stand with Jim.
Come on.
Did you buy your $70 shirt yet?
Yeah, Jasper, we got a shirt just for you in the store.
Put your money where your mouth is, buddy. I want to see that. I want to see you wear it on stream. Let's go.
What if I get a Phil one and just make it blue instead of green?
No, because it says Team Phil on it. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, we got shirts in the Fun Speculation merch shop right now. We got a Team Phil shirt. It's priced at $25. You get the friends and family discount, right? Just like Game Pass, friends and family. Plus, we also have a Team Jim shirt. If you're touting that pay more, we expect more premium quality, inflation, all that bullshit. We got a Team Jim shirt just for you. It's priced at $70 in the store, and depends on if you want to support that, go for it. I don't mind.
Damn.
What's the material on that?
It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Both shirts. Yeah.
It's not premium cotton versus
they
cotton.
sell it. We sell it as premium because it's PlayStation, but it's actually no difference in material. I will say this too, guys. If you get the PlayStation version, it may come damaged.
Oh my god!
It's possible.
In the envelope.
Unfortunately, there's no refunds on that, but you will get a 20% off coupon for your next purchase. Absolutely, that's what the plan is. So
You know what you should have done, Mav? You should have made the Team Jim one without saying Team Jim at $70, and then if you wanted the lettering on there, it was gonna be an extra $10. So make it.
Oh,
$8.
yeah.
you're
Get that
right.
$10.
Yeah.
But no, actually, what you should have done is had Caitlin do some cartoon versions of the Devil Jim and the Angel Phil and put those on there. I think some people actually would have bought those.
That's for the next versions also, you know.
DLC.
But when
I
it's
just put the little picture in your DM, babe.
did you that's going to be for the director's cut Team Jim shirt. It'll be $10 more.
Remaster.
Yeah.
Remastered shirt.
Oh yeah, here's the shirts, guys. You know, Team Phil, Team Jim, right there. Get them while they're hot. The sale only lasts for as long as I don't know.
On sale.
Yeah, $70. It's a great value.
Macroeconomics.
Yeah, it's the guys. It's hard to make these shirts.
The blue dye is
You
just so expensive.
You
nowadays.
gotta support the people that make these shirts, right?
For the players.
You're absolutely. It's so difficult. You wouldn't believe how much effort and time goes into that.
Could you guys have found any more basic lettering?
We're representing with the theme here, you know. Team Phil, Team Jim, let's go, right? Whoever you represent.
Slim Dipper says, "Wow, very creative."
We had fun with that one. Shout out to Kate for actually making those when I told her, hey, we need to make some Team Phil and Team Jim shirts, because guess what? This shit's getting real. Team Jim Jim Ryan calls out Phil Spencer publicly, and shocking everybody actually to come out and say, hey, Phil's lying. Pretty much is what he was saying, right?
Can you see the orders on that?
Oh yeah, we're not going to sell any of those shirts. they're available to buy if anybody actually wants to buy any. But like, it was more of a joke thing. You know what I mean?
You should actually sell those.
They're available to buy if somebody wants to buy one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
send the link in the chat.
Send the link in the chat. It's in the storefront below, guys, as well as the other fun speculation merch if you would like to check any of that out, the real stuff. But yeah, that was just funny, man. That actually tweet blew up really too. It was as just people actually thought that was funny, which is what I was hoping would happen, right? But besides that, guys, for real though, Jim Ryan calls out Phil publicly and takes the whole back and forth of public, instead of making public facing like politically correct statements, you know, I mean, he goes after him and basically calls Phil a liar, says that, you know, what they sent to us was actually inadequate and we deserve more than that. Our players on PlayStation deserve Call of Duty because they've been playing this game for 20 years, right? Meanwhile, shitting on Xbox fans who don't deserve anything, I guess, because they are actually paying for games not to be on our platform as well over here on Xbox. So Jim didn't mention any of that, but I bet Phil's going to the regulators now because Jim may have actually kind of set off a little bit of a fire that he may have not wanted to. Fuzzy, what was your first reaction when you saw this from good old Jimmy boy?
The nerve, the gumption, the testicular fortitude of, was it Crying Lion Jim Dance Moves Ryan to call out Phil saying that, oh yeah, he only offered 3 years. Like, dude, it's part of the negotiation. You can re-up at the next 3 years. And yeah, I made my post on Twitter after this, although I know Xbox isn't going to do it, but Phil should just close the door. It'd be like, oh, you didn't want the 3 years, then you get no years after your contract is up because you refused. So yeah, there you go. But no, the nerve that they have, like the double standard of PlayStation in that regard, where, like you said, they're paying to keep things off of Xbox. They money had it, Street Fighter 5. They money had it for was it Final Fantasy 7, which you know, it was only supposed to be a year, then it became 2 years. Now it may seem like it's forever. And there's
Xbox
that
used to get Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
yeah, no more Spider-Man. No, I mean, hey, we're lucky that MLB wants more money, so that way we at least get, you know, the show. But it's like, seriously, you know, the saying is karma's a bitch. Yeah, I feel it's going to come back to bite him. I think you're right. He started a fire, and he's going to have to get his dancing shoes out to put it out. But I don't think it's going to work. So, you know, you reap what you sow. So we'll
Yeah.
see. Hopefully next year when the deal closes, and you know how long they, you know, kind of suffer, you know, without having, you know, the early access or the
Yeah.
exclusive modes in Call of Duty. And you know, let's see what they do with Destiny, if they go back to their old ways of, oh, you can only get the Gallahorn through us, you know, for the first year or two. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yo, Sourblowd, do you believe that Jim Ryan actually believes what he's saying, or do you think he's just putting on a show?
Oh, he's definitely, you know, putting on a show. I think, and you know, everyone knows that, of course, Call of Duty is a game that's gonna affect them a lot. It's a game that a lot of people buy PlayStation for. You know, they buy PlayStation to play Call of Duty. And I do agree in a way, not to defend him, that, you know, Call of Duty, it's a game that, you know, it you know, it makes so much money, and it's a game that comes out every year. And if we look around, there's not a game like that, really. Maybe you can say the closest one are like 2K and FIFA and maybe Madden, those three. But nothing compares to Call of Duty. But at the same time, it's his approach seems like weak, and he's also like it's almost like he's forgetting about all his studios. Like he's making their studio also look like they're not capable, which that's the doom and glory of PlayStation. They're exclusive and their studios, and the comments he's making, it's almost like he's forgetting about all of that, and he's just worried about, I have to have Call of Duty. And you know, I just think it's making them all look weak.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. And I think it's like, is that an educated decision to come into this trying to make yourselves look weak?
No.
Almost like, I mean, it's not going to look good to the public, but like, they're not really making these statements for the public, are they? Are they making these statements for the regulators, kind of trying to get attention and maybe some of their consumers on their side a little bit? Like, that's the interesting thing here. 3-Bit, what were you thinking when you saw that? Like, it was like, what the hell, Jim, you lying son of a bitch? Or
I mean, there's so many different thoughts I have with his comments. Honestly, I mean, it's a bit hypocritical. Honestly,
a bit.
When you're just a little bit, when you consider how many Call of Duties have had some exclusive content over,
and they get one next week.
Get one next week, right? And it's hypocritical. And I honestly, at first I thought he was putting on a show, but I honestly think he's offended in some way. I think Sony has always sort of had this posture that they are the top dogs. And they are the industry leaders. So it's weird that the industry leader, the person that's pretty much in first place in a lot of different regions, is complaining to different corporations that a third place company is somehow this is somehow affecting the market in the way that they can't compete anymore. That doesn't make sense to me. If you are the top of the market and you're complaining about someone who's in third place, then you need to start looking at your own infrastructure and to ways you can compete.
Microsoft's not even number one in cloud either. They're number two. So
yeah, and there's so many different arguments. Like when people say Microsoft is a monopoly, they're not. There's the gaming industry is way too big. There's so many different companies like Embracer Group and all these different companies who are basically gobbling each other up in these different sectors, right? It's very competitive, and there's a lot of different avenues. And I just think Sony, they make a ton of money with the Call of Duty franchise. I believe the standard rate is 30%.
Yeah, they sent $1.37 billion to Activision in 2020. It was Activision's largest customer in 2020 was Sony, with 17% of their total business.
So would that be taking that's a question I had. Like, is that the total they made, or would you take away the 30%?
I think that's the 30% from Sony is the $1.37 billion just from Call of Duty, Overwatch, and other games like that. That made up Activision, 17% of Activision in 2020.
So that's a large percentage. So when I'm hearing Jim's comments on everything, it comes off as bitter. It comes off as he's angry that Microsoft is about to swoop this franchise underneath him. Now, a lot of points I feel like people miss is the fact that like once these 3 years are up, I think a lot of people are thinking where a lot of this outrage is coming from is that it's going to be exclusive. I still don't think it's going to be exclusive. Like I just think the guarantee of after the 3 years, they don't want to be obliged to, unless you want to make further deals with Sony. 3 years, like, hey, we can do whatever we want. 3 years is just basically Phil saying, like, hey, we are doing this out of kindness of our hearts. That's basically how I read it to be, this contract of 3 years. So we are literally doing this out of the kindness of our hearts, because they don't need to do any of this. Like when Phil said that this goes outside of the normal contractual obligations of like basically a standard contract. To me, that's true. I know a lot of people saying like, oh, Phil's lying, but to me, they didn't have to do that. They could have just been what Sony would have done, which is to lock down that franchise and only be within the Sony ecosystem. I totally believe they would do that. They've shown that they would do that with other franchises. So there's so much hypocrisy within his statement that I don't even know where to start breaking it down. Like my brain just starts going in different avenues of Sony's history of doing what he's claiming that Microsoft is doing. So I really want to hear from you guys on the rest of that, but that's basically my thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, salty there. It's a nice guy, Jim Ryan. I mean, God love him. You know, he's a bless his heart. He's an amazing person. I don't know. You just look at everything they do, and then just like for the Call of Duty thing, like people are starting to share that image where it's like the past like 8 Call of Duties, like 30-day first, a year exclusive in this mode and stuff like that. It's just like they got Destiny year exclusive. It's just like you just show that to someone in the board, and like that's immediately going to shut that argument up. So like I'm not afraid of like the Activision deal falling through or anything. It's just like I just don't know if the guy's like I don't know. Just he's something.
Yeah.
At first I was thinking like maybe is he just putting on a show, but like his latest sort of comments make me think like it's more than just a show. Like I feel like he's actually like salty at Phil over revealing that they made some sort of deal with PlayStation, because you never really hear about Microsoft working with PlayStation. So the fact that Phil's like, yeah, we're making some deals with PlayStation, I think Jim didn't like that. They like to sort of sector themselves off as like, we don't need any help. We are the top dog. I think Jim wants to keep that sort of appearance of PlayStation. It just comes off as like just bitter.
Yeah, I agree as well. It does.
It's just fake. It's like, dude, you not even see what the hell you're doing. It's just so like hypocritical, you know? It's just like
I've seen people be like, it's not the same thing, right? You're saying them buying a $70 billion corporation is the same thing as them making games exclusive. The end result to the consumer is the same, right? Which is what we should be considering and what we should be thinking about here. How does it affect me? Not how does it affect that company, right?
Or how does Microsoft affect PlayStation gamers? It's like, who the hell gives a shit? It's Microsoft trying to.
And they've been using it to affect the competition for a decade or more. You know what I mean? By by doing these deals. Xbox used to do it too, right? But they got away from that with their new way of doing things. And it's interesting now that we see this model just being like, well, this is the way we do business, and that's how it's going to be. And they're not allowed to do it back to us. And if they can't take our ability to do it to them away, then that sucks, and we don't like it. And that's basically what it's about. They're taking away their biggest asset, right, with their marketing rights. They're not even taking away the damn game, which is even crazier, right? But shout out to Lord Roughness with a £5 super chat. He says, after listening to Jim Ryan whine about Xbox and Call of Duty, I hope the FTC just passed the Activision Blizzard deal with no conditions. And Phil shouts, exclusive. That would be the absolute most trolling, amazing thing. Well, if it wasn't adequate enough for you, Jim, how about this? We'll just make it less adequate, you son of a bitch. And we're going to take that away. And guess what? You can cry about it all you want, because we were trying to do something for your gamers, your PlayStation fans who want to play Call of Duty. We were trying to do right by them and do right by you just to get you to shut the hell up. However, you decided to go cry out to the public and call me out publicly. So guess what? Fuck you. I'm going to go ahead and take my ball and go home. And we're going to give Call of Duty only to Game Pass members and Xbox users. So fuck off, Jim.
If I was petty, I would do that.
It would really suck if the PlayStation Azure servers went off between 4 and 8 p.m. Eastern time every day.
That's using your weight a little bit. Shout out to Alvin. Also, he said, couldn't bring myself to grab a Team Jim shirt. I don't blame you. $70 is quite a lot to pay for something as low quality as that.
Experience.
He says, but grabbed a Black Fun Speculation shirt instead. I appreciate you, dude. And those are not $70. I guarantee you that. Victor Allenstein hit us with a $5 super chat. Also appreciate you, sir. He says, I think Sony could borrow money and acquire EA or merge with them. And with Respawn, build Battlefield to Call of Duty, or better than COD level. COD can be matched. COD absolutely can be matched. It depends on who has the balls to try to, right? Battlefield's making some more moves too, so they can get marketing rights on Battlefield. They can get behind this. I saw put in the chat. Somebody put in the chat about, hey, the new Ridgeline campaign game that they're going to be making. What if they put marketing rights behind that, or whatever? There's other avenues, other franchises out there they can do things with and get that kind of market share. Maybe just do it to more different games besides just Call of Duty, right? Who knows?
Hey, babe, Alvin left a super chat just before Victor.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, shout out to Alvin. Hit us with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you as well, Alvin. Says Jim Ryan sitting atop his Iron Throne, built from Sword exclusives, lamenting the throngs of war. Hilarious. Yeah. Hope he doesn't prick his finger. And Hargeet Channy with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Hargeet. He said, I'm sure Jim sent an adequate signed offer to Phil when he went and bought Bungie. Well, Jim, let's see the adequate offer. Yeah, that's right. They actually hold Bungie now, which they can. Bungie is running supposedly independently, but that's a guarantee for Sony that those games are going to be on PlayStation. That's a guarantee for Sony that those games are going to have marketing behind with Sony and PlayStation and all that stuff.
Bungie's kind of hard to push around. Bungie's harder to push around than any other publisher, I feel like, because Bungie would just be like, "Fuck you, we're breaking the contract. We want to pay it out. We're done."
Right? They will. If you start fucking around with Bungie, they will do that. But I mean, there's no reason to think that they're not going to have marketing rights, and those games are going to be leased on PlayStation, right? They will be on other platforms as well, which Bungie's already said. But that's kind of the same thing that Xbox is doing with COD, and it's really relegating to one franchise with Call of Duty, and that's what this whole thing is amounting to, which is the most ridiculous thing, because to Microsoft, this deal is way bigger than Call of Duty. Call of Duty is just one aspect, and it shows the difference in the visions between the two companies, where Microsoft's like, hey, mobile gaming, PC, we got Blizzard, we got King, we're doing all these different things. We're going to make games everywhere, playable for everyone, friends and family, $25, everybody can play. You can play on all these different devices and cross-save, cross-play, cross-progression, all this shit. We're doing everything we possibly can to get more people to play games and get more people to want to sub to our service, whereas PlayStation's like, don't take Call of Duty away from us. It's too important, right? That's like all they care about right now is like just screaming about Call of Duty. And Xbox is like, that's what you're really worried about right now? It's going to
own World of Warcraft.
Yeah, there's so many different things. Like for the Xbox to potentially have to sign a concession about Call of Duty for keeping it on PlayStation for more than 3 years is the least of their issues right now. And if that's all they have to concede to get this deal passed, which is what they're setting it up to be right now, it's like an easy win for them, right? I just don't see, like, I think Xbox is playing chess here and Sony's playing checkers, freaking out about this and trying to make sure that they get their extra 2 years on this consent decree or whatever from the regulators. And Xbox is like, you dumbass, like, we just played you for a fool, right? You could have made this whole thing about subscription services. You could have made this whole thing about us dominating the cloud, but you even went and told the regulators yourselves that's not a different market. Because guess what? You know you need to be in that market and you want it to be included in the same market that you're in. So by your ass not even including that, saying that it's a different market, that means there can't be no monopoly on what you're even trying to argue against. You can't argue against value of gaming in a subscription service when it's in the same market that you actually hold market share on 2-1 in the exact market that is actually being argued against. They are actually just being hypocritical at the ass, and Microsoft has all the ammunition and tools to shut down every argument they made because they have nothing. They have no argument. And it's absolutely, I think, set up from the beginning with Xbox. And the reason they even sent that to them in the first place is to be able to use this against them if it came to it. Hargeet Shanny with another $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Hargeet. He says, I hope Phil's thoughts are to stop the annual COD thing after the 5 years Warzone can keep going and add the normal multiplayer modes along with zombies. Let the studios make other games.
That's already happening, Hargeet. That's already happening. That was part of the plan. We talked about this when the acquisition was first announced, that what is the value of Call of Duty if they go to a 2-3 year cycle, and then Activision comes out and says, hey, we want to kind of put a pause on Call of Duty and we're going to go to a 2-year cycle. And if that gets even further apart, and they can make Call of Duty a games as a service that they just keep updating, which they certainly could do underneath Xbox and Microsoft. Exactly. Underneath Microsoft and Xbox, they can certainly make that happen, Hargeet. But we've had those conversations. And to add fuel to that fire, the rumor is now out there that Infinity Ward is working with ex-BioWare employees on a brand new sci-fi first-person shooter RPG in the mold of Destiny, because Activision lost Destiny and they want to get back into that space. So it already sounds like some of their teams are potentially moving away from Call of Duty and start to do other things. So you're absolutely spot on, Hargate. Again, we did talk about that after the acquisition, that what does that mean for Sony at that point if Call of Duty isn't annual? It would, again, they would already be making less money off Call of Duty than they would have, but Activision was already thinking that way. So again, all of this, at the end of the day, I love that they're hyper focused on Call of Duty. I think this helps Microsoft and Xbox that
There's
they
so
aren't
many
talking.
other things.
There's so many, Mike, again, all of us, everybody, of course, Call of Duty is the biggest thing. But to Microsoft and Xbox, this isn't about the next 5 years. This is about the next 10, 15, 20 years. And that's where everything else, and again, I'll say it, I don't think Phil was lying when he said King is the most important part of this, and then Blizzard. I think those are the two primary targets in this acquisition. It's just a bonus that they're getting all of Activision and, of course, one of the biggest IPs in the world in Call of Duty along with that. But for their long-term plans, that's not a part of it because, like Phil said, we don't even know what Call of Duty is going to look like that far out. We have no idea what the game industry is going to look like at that point. And this industry changes in a snap. The next big thing could come out, and next thing you know, Call of Duty is regulated to 3rd, 4th, 5th, top 10 most played game each year instead of being number 1. And all of a sudden, all that value disappears. All of a sudden, even the value that Microsoft and Xbox thought they were getting out of it disappears. That's how quick this industry changed. So yeah, this is great that they're focusing.
That's what makes me think Jim Ryan's statements about Call of Duty and them being hyper focused is kind of just to play it and just like trying to keep like their fan base like, look, see, we're doing something, because they're buying mobile, they're buying other studios, they're working on with Bungie, they're making other stuff in different fields.
Yes.
Yeah, they're working on PC. So it's just like them hyper focused on Call of Duty just seems like, hey, look, we're doing something, we're putting the flag up for you. It's like,
yeah, and that's kind of what's being played here. Again, Mav and I talked about this last night. I think that there is some obvious real concern from Sony. Of course, you don't want
their bottom line is going to take a hit for sure.
Yeah, and their stocks are going to take a hit, right? And they can't take. They're already dropping. I said last night, Mav, you were talking about too. there are people circling around Sony right now. There are people I
Mhm.
can guarantee you licking their chops at those stock prices. And if those stock prices tumble some more, there's going to be some more people licking their chops. Okay. So they don't want that to
Amazon.
happen. Right. So yes, they're protecting. There's
Disney.
some real concern, but there is also some real big drama from Drim here to just try to get anybody to listen. He doesn't care what the public, he doesn't care what we think. He doesn't care what the public thinks. He doesn't mean parts. Some of this is made up. It's just more dramatic, but he's just trying to get anybody to listen to him to try to trip up this deal any way he can. If he can get it to go to the courts in any of these regulatory bodies areas, if he can get that to happen, that ties Microsoft and Xbox up for years. If it happens to go that far, that's all he's trying to do here. It's a Hail Mary at the end of the day because he knows realistically there is really no reason to stop this deal to go through. They see the future. The future is not console based. Okay. They don't have the resources, the infrastructure, the time, the money to make all the changes that they need to do when Microsoft and Xbox have already taken the lead in all those future areas like the cloud, like Game Pass subscription services. They don't have that recovery. They don't have the ability to recover from that lead, and they all know that. So all they're trying to do right now is slow this down any way possible, and that's why Jim's out here doing this. It's obviously hypocritical. He doesn't care. He obviously knows that Xbox doesn't care about his PlayStation fans. That he's not supposed to. That's what competition is. Again, Jim wasn't sitting back when he buys up Final Fantasy going, man, I know this is really going to hurt the Xbox fans, all those poor gamers over there. I feel really bad doing this. It's just about numbers, guys. Jim ain't thinking like that. He knows better. He knows better. He's a smart dude when it comes to business and numbers.
Jim doesn't even play the games.
He doesn't play the games. He probably is less caring than anybody in the world. So a lot of this is nonsense. But at the end of the day, he's just trying to slow down the inevitable. And there's nothing he can do about it, really, at this point, except for scream and cry like he is right now. Sorry, Jim.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, there's not much he can do. I think he's trying to do what he can to try and persuade people that Microsoft is bad, right? And in the public eye, if he can create some kind of outrage against the executives of Microsoft and what they're doing behind the scenes, trying to create this like false narrative of oh, they're lying to you, they're lying to us, this is what he said, but this is what he actually did, which is actually, if you look at the factual information, is exactly what they said they did. In fact, actually not just by Phil Spencer, which he put out there that Phil Spencer put this out in the public. It was already made a long time ago by Brad Smith in an interview, actually, that they had done this, right? This was already out there, but he's trying to create this narrative of the executives of Microsoft being bad guys, talking about their dealings behind the scenes now in the open public and throwing them under the bus. Well, guess what? We're going to throw you under the bus, Phil, and you're a liar because you're only giving us 3 years, and that's not good enough because we demand more because we're Sony and we have players.
I would never work with them again.
Yeah,
but that's me.
They're just making themselves vulnerable, I think, to more hostility from Microsoft themselves, because if you start coming up through their public image, right?
Yeah.
And also to the regulators coming after them in this kind of way, I think that's going to open up some other avenues that Sony shouldn't really try and go after, because it's like you're playing with fire right there, you know, like
Hogue said it. Hogue said that Jim shouldn't have come out and done this. Right. Hogue said this. Is
I
not
didn't
the
see
way you
Hogue's
respond.
response to this.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Hogue, you should go watch the video because it is awesome. Hogue always lays it out.
Yeah.
But he just said, I don't know if I would have ever advised Jim to say these things in public. And that's why I said last night too, man, when we were talking about this, that I think that some of this was a bait. I think that Phil, I think the attorneys that are involved on Microsoft's side wrote this up, the response that Phil had to kind of bait Jim into this move. I really do believe that there's some of that chess here, because the attorneys would be smart enough to know. Again, Microsoft attorneys have been dealing with worldwide regulators forever. Okay, this is an experienced company that knows what it's like to have to go through these processes. I can guarantee you part of this was a bait to get Jim to do exactly this, to make a mistake in his desperation to put this out and start negotiating, right? And litigating this deal in public, which is never a good thing to regulatory bodies. They don't want that to happen. Most of this stuff, yes, some of them have been public, like the CMA and the Brazilian courts, because it's law. The CMA, I have no idea why they did it. But at the end of the day, it's going to look bad.
Yeah,
And
they're
it
the
does
first ones that
open-
made public statements,
Right.
actually, right?
Right, the real public statements, right? Brazilian
Mhm.
courts are just because
Was
it's
leaked.
available,
Right.
right? It's available to the public. But at the end of the day, when it gets down to it, they did open up some holes, just like the Brazilian responses did, for Microsoft to attack this and to start educating all these people who know nothing about this industry, about Sony's own dealings and why this is okay and why this is not anything different. Sure, it might be a whole publisher, but at the end of the day, it might not be anything different than what Sony does. And in fact, in some ways, it's better because Microsoft is willing to be the good guys and open up offers and negotiate with Sony and keep games on their service, whereas Sony wants to keep things away completely from Xbox.
Yeah.
So I think now they get to educate all these people on exactly how they operate, because these people honestly don't know. They really don't know.
They don't have a clue.
What this industry is like. Nope.
All they
Nope.
know is what Sony sent them,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
And that's why that's mirrored what Sony said, because nobody else had a challenge other than Sony, right? That's why
because they had all these different companies that were like, yeah, I'm fine with the deal. They went to like several companies, and Sony was the only one. With
right.
the-
That's why it reads like a copy and paste from Sony's Brazilian thing, because it's exactly the same response that they probably sent to everybody. All of these bodies are going to go into these the more strict ones like UK, EU, and everything are going to go into a deeper thing on this $70 billion
Second phases.
deal,
Yeah,
right?
The problem with these people is that these are the same people that say that violence in video games causes like violence in real life or whatever. And it's just like, come on, people. It's like,
Yeah.
so it's like,
They know
I don't have-
nothing, right? They have no. That's why it's been up to them to learn, and that, you know, the CMA even said themselves, we have to learn about this industry a little bit, right? And I think you may be onto something with like the bait thing, because if you can prove of their arrogance and their history of doing this exactly to them, and you come out with their statement saying that 3 years is inadequate for their consumers, then it's just like, whoa, you're in the you have the market lead in this territory that is actually challenging this potentially, or trying to go into phase 2 with this
so
right
many
now.
clear examples.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the market lead, you are increasing the prices of your consoles in other regions. You are
In that region
have a
specifically as
lawsuit.
well, right?
in that region. You have lawsuits of basically for the stores. Where was that at? That was in the
that was the
UK.
UK.
It was in
Where they were
UK,
getting
yeah.
sold for $5 billion for overcharging.
It's getting sued for like 5 something billion. There's like clear examples that they could use, and that's just off the top of my head. So we'll see.
On
Yeah.
top, they got Jim to say that this was inadequate. And what Microsoft is going to be able to do is go educate the CMA and every other regulatory body about how the deals in the video game industry work. Because they obviously are going to show them specific deals and say, look, we weren't lying when we were stating we were giving them a bigger contract than is normally offered in this industry as a main competitor to Sony. We were taking a neutral stance and offering them something beyond the norm in this industry. And look what they're doing. Look at their response. Spitting in our face, ripping up the contract, saying it's not good enough. When we offered this right away to him to make sure that they understood that we weren't taking this away from them. So that, again, that all goes into that education part, and it shows, hopefully, again, if these people have
Sony
any
will be
brains,
like-
how bad Sony is. What
Sony
they
will be
look
like, no, see, actually, we write 10-year exclusive contracts.
right,
So this 3
exclusive
years.
contracts.
Right.
Yeah, but they weren't going to give us exclusivity. That's different from what we normally get. We're not going to have marketing
Right.
rights. That's different from what we normally get. Yeah,
That's probably the posturing they'll use. Well, I mean,
Right.
but Microsoft obviously has these examples of like everything that you're saying that you don't want to happen to your consumer on your platform has been done to our consumer on our platform, affecting our business, right? So if Call of Duty were to leave your platform, so we would love Final Fantasy, right? We would love all these other
Big
franchises that you have been keeping off of Xbox. But guess what? You're using your market position, which is dominant, And a lot of the areas, especially from with the publishers where these publishers are located, especially like the Japanese publishers and stuff like that, and you're using your dominant market position to persuade and have influence over the contracts which you're negotiating with and keeping content off your competitor's platform. And that is completely actually what where regulators are supposed to be against themselves, period, even without the steal being taken place. However, nobody wanted to call it out before because they wanted the ability to potentially do it themselves, right? Like the entire market, the entire industry wants the ability to be able to do stuff like that for themselves. But with Sony playing with fire here and actually trying to call out Microsoft for giving them an inadequate deal is potentially setting themselves up for more scrutiny than they're prepared for. Because guess what? They have actually raised cases against other large companies for dominant market position and taking advantage of contracts with using their position, and also for affecting the consumer with unnecessary price increases and such. And you can make an argument that Sony has done such in that specific market, which they are challenging Microsoft in, because guess what? They didn't raise the prices in the US. They raised it in the UK. Also, guess who didn't raise the prices? Microsoft and Nintendo. The other two main competitors that are being looked at here in this industry. Also, both Nintendo and Microsoft both are still selling games at $60, where Sony is selling games at $70. So you add the price markup on the console, you add the price markup on the games, you add the fact that their subscription service is inferior but more expensive than Game Pass. Across the board, using dominant market position, not only to charge consumers more, but also to affect the contracts and give swaying contracts that are made with publishers to get content on your platform, adding supplementary language that has nothing to do with that existing contract, like marketing rights, adding clauses in there that keep that off of other platforms, right? There's actually language that they've used against Google as examples of how that is why they challenged Google in the UK and have actually won with this, right? So they are actually committing a couple different things that the industry could bring to light and use this against them, but they haven't done so yet. But this is opening up a can of worms, I feel like, potentially, that they may not want to play with, right? Hence why they also didn't allude to the fact that this is a different market with cloud gaming. And that is going to completely shut the whole argument down for them, because that was their only avenue to potentially get this deal challenged, in my opinion. So guess what, Sony? I think you already lost. You're just playing the game now to try and get as much as you can with the regulators and try and make them feel like they won as well by getting as much of a concession as you possibly can.
I feel like Sony's the type of people that will make a fake contract, be like, look, we signed a contract with Sony Santa Monica ourselves for an exclusive deal. It's like, you just signed a contract with yourself. What does that have to do with anything? But no, but we see it's here in the court.
Yeah.
I think to add also, you have, Nintendo Switch is also a competitor, and you don't see them, they don't even have Call of Duty. And
They
I
used
think
to.
that, yeah, well, like right now they're still competing, they're still selling like crazy, and they don't have the need for Call of Duty. And then another thing that's not going to help Sony is that Microsoft actually has receipts. I mean, they bought Bethesda, they got the Deathloop contract there, they have the Ghostwire Tokyo, they might have some documentations about Sony trying to get Starfield exclusive, so they have some receipts there that they can also use. So it's going to be interesting. I think honestly, the regulator's job is to protect the consumer and also to protect competition, which this deal honestly won't affect any of them. If anything, it will benefit the consumers
and the employees also, which was the original argument that they already solved that as well. So there's no, like, this is the last thing in this entire deal revolves around Call of Duty, which is just completely ridiculous. But it's where we're at right now. But yeah, guys,
wants to bring any sort of criticism, because I keep hearing a couple things from Sony fans side of things. The main criticism I could even think of, the main criticism coming from the Sony side is that the way they manage studios is a negative to the Activision deal. They basically don't want it to happen because of how Microsoft handles their studios. What do you guys think about that?
It's ignorant as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Activision
It
Studios
is.
are gonna like pretty much operate as Activision Studios, except for the fact that human resource areas and stuff like that are hopefully gonna get improved.
And Bobby will be gone.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing. Bobby will be gone. They'll have new people in place. They're going to go to a no crunch, just like the rest of Xbox's studios. We've already talked about this. The games are going to take longer to make. We just all got to start getting used to that. But at the end of the day, this is nothing but a
If you
healthy
have
change.
50 studios, it doesn't matter if they take longer to make
Yes.
because you should have enough to
gonna have
cycle
more
in
than
between.
enough
Yeah.
Look at where we're gonna be
Correct.
at next year, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Right.
Like, are we really concerned with not enough stuff to play?
No.
My God. You know,
No.
like
No.
this year sucked, right? For first party and third party publishers as well. You know, they didn't have a lot of big AAA stuff. We're going to have some stuff more towards the end of the year. And then 2023 is going to be absolutely insane. But that was more of an industry thing. The only two that you can give props to is Sony and Nintendo, actually, for getting out quite a bit of big games. But other than that, across the board, EA, Ubisoft, Sega, even, and Microsoft.
But they got Sonic coming out.
They do have Sonic, so I'll give Sega a little bit of credit. They also had a Total War, I think, come out this year as well.
Yep.
So Sega kind of did good there, but across the board, the whole industry's kind of had less this year. That's why 2023 is so strong, right?
I can't wait for Microsoft to start having that domino effect, because they have so many studios, they have so many games in the works, and it's like they can't escape that sort of criticism because of what happened in the past, and that's it's pretty valid, to be honest. Like what happened in the past,
Absolutely. There is
it's
criticism
still-
to be had. So
Yeah.
We've
for sure.
criticized them a lot
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But
criticize
at the
them
same
a lot
time, a
on
lot
the
of it's not
shows.
also their
No,
fault.
no,
too.
Right.
but there is specific
Yeah.
examples of studios that maybe do need some micromanagement. Rare
Yeah.
is one of them, right? There are some studios that are obviously not flourishing without a lot of hands-on from Xbox, right? We can point to a couple examples here, but overall, go ahead, finish your thought, Three. But I didn't mean to jump in. I
I was just gonna say, like now Phil, it's a different situation in the case that Phil now has the full backing of Microsoft.
Mhm.
Microsoft, Xbox, over time, I feel like their design philosophy of acquiring it and their vision has changed over time.
Yeah.
And expanding to different markets, and also just increasing the amount of studios, so that way Game Pass is the main avenue where you can pretty much play a multitude of different genres coming in from their studios.
Yep.
And I think once the domino effect starts to happen, it's just going to be insane. It's going to be insane.
Starts next year, right?
Yeah,
It starts next year. Yeah.
next year. And Fable, when people see Fable,
When's it
they're
coming
gonna
up there,
see-
bit? Release the date.
I have no idea. But
When it's ready.
they need to. I think a lot of people. I think people just need to see it, honestly.
Mhm.
When the dominoes start to fall and people just start seeing all these different games coming to Xbox, it's going to be very hard to ignore. And then on top of that, you have all these amazing games coming out, and that's not even mentioning Activision and what they're working on. So yeah, so you're gonna say something, Pong.
No. I was just gonna say that a lot of this. I was listening to Spooky Show the other night with Umbra and those guys over there, and they actually had an interesting discussion about this. And I'm not gonna go off on a tangent here, but a lot of the criticism or concerns about all these studios and Xbox and Microsoft not getting onto a consistent content basis. And again, this year, it's spilled milk, but we've all said it, that this can never happen again. This is an awful year for first party. Okay. But the point being is, all these people talk about all these studios that they bought even prior to ZeniMax, right? The Oblivions, the InXiles, the Compulsions, and they all talk about these studios like they weren't already making games that came out for multi-plat because they were already producing those games and then they started on new games. Nobody talks about the fact that all these studios are growing underneath Microsoft and Xbox, that the In Exiles, the Compulsions are now going to start making AAA big games.
They have like
compared to what
5
they used
projects
to.
too.
Right, they have Oblivion has like 5 projects, right? Sawyer went out and made his dream game because of Microsoft and Xbox and Pentiment. None of the people that try to have these conversations or throw out this nonsense really think logically through this. Games take approximately from start to finish. 3-bit is 6 years, a rough estimate from start to finish, pre-production all the way through.
From scratch, yeah.
From scratch for a AAA game, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. So these studios were bought in 2017 and 2018. That's when they went on their first major buys, right? The Oblivions, the Exiles, all those studios. That means 2023, 2024. And like I said, all this buildup in between, all these studios are taking a step up from what they were used to be doing. And now Oblivion's doing they want 1 game per year for the next 4 or 5 years or whatever it is. All these studios are taking another step up in this whole game of development, and they all forget to talk about that and how that can change things. And now on top of that, got the pandemic, got all this stuff happening in the world. Then you got Microsoft saying no more crunch, we're going to crunch-free zones, all these changeovers, right? And we're going to see it. Microsoft has now put an emphasis on quality control. They have put an emphasis on polishing these games. That's why we saw Redfall get delayed. That's why we saw Starfield get delayed. They want to not just put out games anymore. They want to put out top tier quality games like the Sony studios. So all of that is happening at the same time. That's why we had a year like this year. It happens. It's going to happen when you're making these huge changes. Again, is there some fair criticism? Absolutely. I've given them fair criticism. If something happens next year and we get like 2 first-party games next year, oh boy, I'm gonna have something to say. Okay?
I think that might be Sony next year. Like, if they don't just pump out remakes, we may get 1 game from them next year if it's not remake stuff.
We're gonna get Factions, maybe Spider-Man 2.
Factions is not coming out next year.
Yes, Factions is out next year for sure, 100%. Factions out next year, and then Spider-Man 2, and maybe they have a couple second, third-party deals in there as well, right? Maybe, but we don't know about any of them. And maybe one of those games as a service comes out, 2 of those games as a service show up in some state. We don't know what they're going to be like. We don't know anything. But yes, absolutely. But again, just back to my original point here, everybody's got to take a step back and realize what a monumental shift and change this was. And you can say, wow, 2017 was a long time ago. We should be seeing something from that. With this kind of shift in Microsoft and Xbox and what they're trying to accomplish and get to, again, they internally reviewed some Sony titles, including The Last of Us, to find out what it was that their games were missing. We had the days of gone where Microsoft was struggling and just pushing games out the door because they had to have something, and they turned out not so good. So now that they're focused on this quality and they want to get to that point where they start seeing those awards at the end of the year, where people start talking about their games at like the same kind of people talk about God of War and The Last of Us.
Those bangers.
It takes time. And that's exactly what's happening here, but it starts in 2023. I absolutely firmly 100% believe that, but we need to see it, like 3-bit just said. You got to see it to believe it. But when we start seeing it, then we're going to go, aha, great, we're on board, let's go. I mean, we're all on board anyways, but I'm just saying the rest of the gamers who don't believe in this are finally going to see the light, and they're not going to be able to deny it anymore.
A lot of them are, I got to see it to believe it, right? Instead of just know about it's coming. Well, we keep hearing it's coming. And I get that. I get it. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't take the fact away that this shit's real. You know what I mean? Like, it exists. All these thousands and thousands of developers like 3-bit here are actually working on shit. They're not just like sitting there with their thumb up their ass, going like, "Oh, what do we do, boss? I don't know. Microsoft direct me into what to do now." I'm just sitting here, and I mean, these games are being made, right? They're being made, and there are a lot of projects have been announced, more than in any other platform. Really, we have announced that are coming to Game Pass day one, right, as well. So not only are you getting the crazy amount of projects, but you're also getting them all in a service that's a cheap ass subscription service that's crazy value. It's still mind boggling how inexpensive it is, and it's about to be even a better value if you have a family. So like
But
all
you're
of
always
this
going to
stuff.
have the clown squad out there. It's
Yeah,
like the second a
no
bad
matter
game
what.
comes out that's like 75 on Xbox,
Yeah,
you're
you-
like, see,
you're-
Xbox games are
Always.
trash.
You see it
Always.
already with games that aren't even out yet, right?
Right.
Because they're preparing for that. Oh, Starfield's
The
mid. Starfield
Yeah,
is
the
mid.
response to Starfield was funny as hell.
Yeah,
So yeah.
You're seeing this across the board,
Crazy.
and people forget. People have short memories, and people are going to use whatever they can to try and twist things into this negative
Xbox
thing.
is literally, they're tackling almost every genre.
Yes.
If you and if you look at it, like, what game does PlayStation have right now that competes with a game like Halo? You'd be like, okay, well, they just bought Destiny. You're like, okay, cool. Then you start looking at all of the different games that Microsoft has either in the works or just has as a IP. You have Fable, you have Avowed, you have Starfield. It just goes on, and that's when you're like, okay, well, Sony, they are the masters of action adventure games. What
Yeah,
about all
one
the
fucking
other-
genre, right? I think it's
Because they
amazing.
chose it.
They're an
Yes.
amazing masterpiece at this genre, and it's one of the best genres in gaming, and people love it, right? But I see too many times people are like, well, Xbox doesn't have games for me. Well, guess what? Maybe you should play more games than just fucking action adventure games, right?
It's the same people who say you have nothing to play right now.
Maybe
It's
you
like-
should play more games than just a third-person action adventure game, because guess what? There's all these genres that exist. Guess what? Sony doesn't even have an answer for
But
themselves.
those aren't bangers.
Because they're
don't-
not on Sony.
They don't
If
have an
Sony was
arcade
making them,
racer that like
they would be bangers.
They don't have an arcade racer like Forza Horizon, right? They don't have a fantasy RPG.
Did MotorStorm?
Yeah, they fucking let
They
them
had
go.
Motorstorm and Drive Club even.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
let them.
Drive Club
They
even.
let them go. They let those studios go. Guess what? Xbox isn't the only ones that cancels and closes down studios, are they? No, this happens to other places. They
Killzone.
Could
all
you
over
just
the place.
imagine if they kept Siphon Filter going for 20 years?
Yes.
That would be
Oh,
a competitor
God.
to Halo at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Gabriel
So
Logan
calm.
could be the fucking face of PlayStation. Like,
Yes.
just
They did it to
So
so
many
many
franchises.
titles, so many franchises, so many titles just thrown in the closet, locked up, boarded up. Nope, we don't need to touch those anymore. We got all of our third party friends who love to deal with us, even though we bully them. They love it, and they're going to make those games for us. And we're just going to focus on what we do best. And that's all we got to do. And we're going to coast. We got the Call of Duties of the world pumping money into us. We're good. They didn't see the freight train coming when they woke up Godzilla. Okay. They didn't see it coming when Microsoft fully backs Xbox. They did not expect that to happen whatsoever. They got caught with their pants down. And now they're trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do to try to stick in their number one place.
I
they
fear we
don't
have
have a
woken a
whole lot of
sleeping
answers.
giant.
Yes, they have. They have. Absolutely. Absolutely they did. And that's where we're headed right now. And again, 2023 starts it. The avalanche is going to begin, and it's going to be crazy when this gets rolling, because like 3-Bit, you're just pointing out how much we already, and Mav constantly points this out, and he did a whole show on it one time by himself, how many IPs that are announced, code names that we have, double that, because that's probably what they've got started somewhere else, right? All these teams have grown so big, working on multiple projects now. The chances are, and then you throw in Activision Blizzard, and again, if the rumors are true, we already know Blizzard's working on what, 2 new IP. Then all of a sudden you get this rumor that Infinity Ward is breaking off a team, bringing in an ex BioWare team to create a new first-person shooter RPG. How many of their other teams are starting to prepare for that as they move away from Call of Duty a little bit here? So again, it's unstoppable. This is going to be massive. This is going to be the biggest slew of games any generation that we've gotten from one first party. It's going to be crazy.
I have that list still. So
yeah,
People
I mean,
have no idea what they're about to see.
without like, here's the thing. This is actually outdated now, because there's been things since this. Like we've had Pentiment, was revealed, and we've had other things as well, right? So, other projects that we know exist that due to leaks and stuff. But even with just the things where the devs have actually come out and said we're working on this, but they haven't maybe made a name or whatever, there's over 30 things, right? At least. Okay, so there's World's Edge has another game, a partnership
Have you updated
game,
that list? at
and
all?
not in a
Or is that-
while. This is months old, right? But Xbox hasn't revealed a whole lot since then anyway as well, so it's not too outdated. There's going to be some things that are missing. We'll get into that. But World's Edge has a partnered game with probably Relic or something like that again. Then we also have the Coalition has 2 projects in the works. One of them is a new IP, and then also we're assuming Gear 6 is the other one. Then we also have Compulsion Games, which is Project Midnight. It's a third-person action game. Double Fine has new games actually that they're prototyping right now. Matt Booty actually alluded to that. They do have one with that even what's the name of the Double Fine?
Phil
Tim
Schafer?
No, Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer.
Yeah,
Tim
Tim.
Schafer,
Yeah, Tim.
Phil.
Yeah,
I was
Tim.
wondering where you're going with this. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
Tim Schafer actually said that they have something they're really excited about that's bigger than anything they've done before that they're working on as well. The initiative has Perfect Dark. In Exile has the steampunk first-person shooter RPG as well as a second project they are working on. The steampunk first-person shooter RPG is supposed to be amazing, and actually Matt Booty was extremely excited about that game when he was talking about it.
Mechanics, unique mechanics.
Yeah.
It sounded like Arcane to me now when he was talking about it.
Yeah, Mojang, we've had the new Minecraft spinoff, which has since been announced, which is Minecraft Legends, which is coming. Then we have Ninja Theory's Hellblade 2 and Project Mara. Obsidian has Grounded, which is releasing this year officially. Avowed and Pentiment, which at this time I had listed as another project, and then Outer Worlds 2. Yep. Playground has Fable. Rare has
Anything else 3-bit?
Rare has Everwild, right? Turn 10 has Forza Motorsport. Undead Labs has State of Decay 3. Xbox Game Studios Publishing had As Dust Falls that since released. It also has Contraband. Then we also have like 10 other projects that they're rumored
And
to
don't
have
sleep on
partners
Undead Labs now that we've heard about what's going on with State of Decay 3. That might be further away, but that Unreal Engine 5 with Coalition coming in and helping them, Undead Labs could be that sleeping studio. It had issues, but if they come out with State of Decay 3 and it looks like that trailer, don't be surprised.
Is
when people start
Coalition
talking
just
about
like a
Undead
support studio
Labs.
at this point? They're helping everyone.
They're helping
They
everybody.
support everybody. They
They're
really do.
wizards, man.
Yeah.
They
Absolute
are.
wizards.
They are.
They're the gods of the Unreal Engine. Like
Yep.
even Epic needs help
Yes.
from the coalition.
Yes.
Well-
Yeah, the thing is, since everyone is almost using Unreal Engine right now, I think the coalition is helping everyone, guide them.
Invaluable to have them. Yes.
So something real quick that to add to what Ponzo was saying earlier, a lot of these games, like even like years ago, like people have already like playable builds of these games.
Yep.
So you can tell how much time and effort they're putting to polish this game. So
Correct.
when they come
sir.
out, I think
Yeah.
they're gonna be really polished.
They've been standing behind quality is a big factor with them too on these games, and they had the Xbox games lately have not been coming out broken messes like a lot of the other games have out there. So also we got maybe lacking on content updates for Halo, but when it came out it was really polished game, right? That we're only about halfway through, guys. It's fucking crazy, right? I mean, how many games already list? But also Bethesda Game Studios got Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. It keeps teasing something.
Yep.
Like
Quake.
we think it's Quake. They have not said it, but we know they're working on a project, right?
It's Quake.
Arcane has Deathloop coming to Xbox finally, which they already have released since on PlayStation, and Redfall is coming. Alpha Dog Games has which is a studio that was a mobile game developer, has a Mighty Doom. I think that's already potentially out, but they also are working on something else. I don't know what it is, but ZeniMax Online also has an unannounced major huge IP that they are going to be working on. There's a lot of rumors about what that is, but they've already said that they're working on this, right? Machine Games has Indiana Jones and probably Wolfenstein 3.
Correct.
Tango Gameworks has Ghostwire Tokyo, and also the new game that has already been and said that they're working on from the Evil Within 2 game director John Johannes. Roundhouse Studio is also working on an exciting new project, which is rumored potentially to be there's rumored to be a Marvel game right now, or a Disney, Star Wars, or anything within that realm right now.
And don't forget about Tango 2. Recently, Shinji has come out. He's working with younger developers. That studio has been growing as well. They got multiple projects over there right now because he's working with younger devs. He wants to be the mentor for younger devs. That's kind of what Ghostwire Tokyo was in a lot of ways, was the younger devs giving them a chance. So they've got multiple projects at Tango Gameworks as well right now.
Yeah, and this doesn't count like the IO Interactive game. This doesn't count the Certain Affinity game, the Wu-Tang Clan game, like all
Indiana
these.
Jones.
Haven't even
Indiana Jones was
mentioned
on
Ninja
here.
Theory.
Yep, Machine. That's
Yeah,
Machine
Ninja
Games,
Theory
that's
had Hellblade 2 and Project Mara,
Project Mara,
right?
yeah.
But this also doesn't include Activision Blizzard, right? So if we get
No.
into Blizzard, we already got Overwatch 2, which is Overwatch 1, just free to play. Diablo 4,
New World of Warcraft expansion.
the one new survival game that's already been announced from Blizzard that supposedly people are really excited about the behind the scenes. And then Activision. I've left Activision blank because guess what? I mean, they have a shit ton of studios. We have no idea what's going to end up coming from them.
About 3 Call of Duties right now.
But there's going to be at least 3 Call of Duties, right? Like that we can count on for sure. And that includes Warzone and all these other things. And this doesn't
Toys
even
for Bob teased another game as well.
Yeah.
So
and this doesn't touch the other game that Infinity Ward's rumored to have spun off on as well. And it also doesn't include anything from mobile and King. Also, and this also doesn't include Game Pass deals with third parties. As
There's
well.
also a Xbox event next week, so we might get some indie stuff.
yeah, and TGS, we're gonna get some indie stuff and we'll get some new stuff too. I mean, again, look at what they're doing over there in the East. We just got Gungrave announced for Game Pass. They're moving on the East. They got a new team over there that has started on a project. That list doesn't include Kojima. You didn't include Kojima in there. So again, they're making moves,
which they did announce since this, right?
Yep, exactly. Yep, since
there's a lot of different things, and I had also the projects that were rumored. I was trying to find that one, if I can, but here we go. Rumored projects. Yeah, Certain Affinities, Monster Hunter game, Project Belfry, which is like a beat 'em up game. I don't remember.
So freaking good.
Project Vonnegut. Was that the Humankind? Is that the one that was?
I don't remember the name on that one.
I think the certain affinity one isn't that like a Monster Hunter one?
Yeah, the Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. So there's one that's like a grand strategy game that was revealed actually at the Xbox Showcase. I don't remember.
Aura or something?
Aura. Yeah, I think I don't. One of these is that. I don't remember which one. I think it could be Vonnegut. I'm not sure. There's also Halo has supposedly another side project. Project Tatanka potentially, as well. That would be Certain Affinity. They were working on a 1 versus 100 revival potentially. That's been
in the works for
delayed
so
and
damn
pushed back. Who knows what's happening with that?
I loved that game. I hope it.
That was Project PAX Day. That was Project PAX Day. That was Aura, right? So we don't know what Vonnegut is. There's the Project Dragon, which is IO's game. Then there's which is supposed to be the biggest game they've ever made. Right? Yes. It's like great, like crazy. I remember Jez alluding to that game last time he'd heard information about it. Is absolutely insane. And we know that there's more to this too, because with IO Interactive's financials that they've recently released and came out, they said that the things they're working on are going to take several years and they're massive projects.
Did you leave Avowed off the last list?
No, it was on there.
Okay.
There was just so many damn games. It's hard to remember all of them, right?
IO's numbers don't matter, folks, because they're going to be underneath the umbrella, so they don't care.
There's Project Shaolin, which was that Wu-Tang game made by that developer. We already know who the devs are. I can't remember the name of that team, but they'd already done.
Golden, is it Lion? It's something Lion. What is it? Golden Lion something?
Yeah. Can't remember.
Lion.
What is it?
Brass Lion.
Brass Line. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Something called Project Velvet. I don't remember what that is. And then there's another thing called Project Indus. I don't remember what that is. And then
Indus was the grand strategy game.
Indus was okay.
Yeah, I think Indus was the grand. I think that was.
I thought that was PAX Day.
No, I think Indus was.
Okay.
Pretty sure. And
then we had the Kojima Cloud game that I put on here. But there's also rumored Killer Instinct coming back potentially. That's been alluded to that they had found a partner with that as well. I mean, there's just so much shit. Like those are some of the rumored projects. You can't mark a lot of those down, right? But yeah, that's why I didn't include them in that other list, just because they have not officially been announced or marketed to us yet.
That was like 30, 40 plus games.
Mm-hmm.
If you included everything I put, that was 47 games.
Yep.
And
now let's go down Sony's list.
All right.
Spider-Man 2, Wolverine.
Yes, Project Indus was the 4X strategy. I just looked it up.
Okay.
So
right on.
You figure Ghost of Tsushima 2, Spider-Man 2, Wolverine.
Yep.
They have a lot of third-party deal things.
Like
they
Last of Us Factions.
There's 10
Bend is working on something.
Games.
Bend is working on something.
Yeah, new IP.
There's 2 Bungie games, right? I think.
Well, they have more
Well-
Destiny, and then they have a new IP.
Yeah.
New IP.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's
The
supposed to be multi-plat. So
Yeah.
does that count?
Yep.
Yes. The 10 live service games.
Yep.
That,
10
that's
live
in the
service
works.
games in by 2025. Yes.
There's
So,
supposed
Does
to
that
be
count
a
mobile?
third
Does those
Marvel
10
game?
live service games count mobile games?
Yeah,
though?
so Sony Santa Monica's got obviously
Forsake-
Corey's
Forsake.
working on a new game too, new IP as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Possibly space related or something.
Possibly sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Brass
Oh,
Lion
Final
one,
Fantasy.
that's the one they're relating to
Final
the
Fantasy.
Wu-Tang, right?
Yeah, Wu-Tang
Yeah.
Clan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that one, I don't know if their game is actually, actually an Xbox game, if
Okay.
it's coming exclusive, but we did have one of their developer.
Yeah.
And they are working on Unreal Engine 4 and they were moving it to Unreal Engine 5.
Cool.
And a lot of the description that was provided does match up with the code and everything, all the information we know from Project Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
sounds
Information.
very
Thanks, Outlaw.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that was one
Grub
that-
the one that leaked it.
Was a Grub, yeah, and they said it
Yeah,
was
it was
like one
Grub.
of the Xbox partnership deals from the
Yes.
Game Studio Publishing,
They
right?
they were helping in some way, funding
Right.
or partially.
Yeah,
funding.
which they've done before for games that weren't just part of their publishing agreements as well, right? So who knows exactly what the involvement is, but you can rest assured those projects are coming to Xbox, right? So it's going to be interesting in the next couple years, guys, and that's why when we bitch about 2022, we're not freaking out like, show me the proof, you know what I mean? Because it's like you have to be like completely oblivious to what's going on in the industry and what they've been doing to think that that's not going to change.
Just do the
Right.
math right there with what we know, Matt. Just do the math from what we know. You just let's just say 45 games in the next 5 years, which is realistic, right? Next
Yeah.
5 years will put us in the 2027, right?
Mhm.
2028. Next
Which
5 years, 45 games. That's 9 games a year.
you add Activision Blizzard, you're getting more than that.
Yes, that's 9
Yeah.
games a year.
And I think
It's-
Sony's list is only in like the 25
Yeah.
to 26 range.
Maybe.
And a lot of those are kind of like third
Yeah.
party
Correct.
deals. And then that's the
Ask.
10 games as a service. So
Yeah. Even if you stretch it out to like 8 years, that's still a crazy shit ton of games per year. And then if you also add to the fact that a lot of these games are like ongoing games that are going to be added content, and that's where the things get crazier, right? These games you can play on your phone, you can play on your PC, you can play on your Xbox, you can play on a TV, but that doesn't even have an Xbox connected to it because guess what? You got the app on that TV, right? You got all this shit. You pay $25 a month for an entire family of 5, and you can access all these damn games. And that's why we have been preaching for like 2 years now that guess what? Value will speak for itself. It's already, even in a year in 2022, which Xbox had shit for first party, they've been gaining in market share. In a year where games matter the most, remember this, to everybody says this, what sells platforms? Games.
exclusives.
In a year where Xbox had almost nothing for first party, they gained in market share. That is absolutely fucking mind blowing. Now, you add into the fact this shit that we just all went through, all these damn games, and add it up over the next 5-6 years. What do you think Sony's thinking? Right?
We need Call of Duty.
They need Call of Duty. right?
Exactly, Jasper.
They're on a different level. Like when we say this on different shows, I think people don't always grasp what we
Mm-mm.
mean by that. But when we say Microsoft is on a different level, that's not a comment towards Sony in a negative, like in a negative connotation. It's literally just saying Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. They have a very large pocket of money to spend on these studios, comparing it to Sony, which is they have a less budget, right?
Yeah.
Per year. And it's just gonna show. That's gonna be a lot more obvious in next year, but also like in the years to come. I think the difference between these companies are just gonna get more and more obvious.
Yeah. But guess what? Consumers care about their value, their money, more than anything else. And if you can get more bang for your buck and more functionality with that, it's gonna grow and people and get people in the ecosystem. Like it's just yes, you're still Sony's gonna have their thing, and they're gonna still be able to sell to those enthusiasts and have a big piece of the pie, and potentially
You gotta
still
make those
be
bangers.
right there with Microsoft. But Microsoft is gaining a lot of the share that Sony was used to having all to themselves, right? And they don't like
people are
that.
gonna look at Call of Duty being $70 on Sony and then seeing it on Xbox on Game Pass and just be like, huh,
Yeah.
that's the same game, better performance actually.
Yeah, but that's just one game. 3-bit. Add Starfield to that. Add Forza Motorsport to that. Add Fable to that. Add Perfect Dark to that. Add Hellblade 2 to that. Add all these huge games.
Yeah.
Seeing it through the eyes of Jim Ryan, because
Yeah.
apparently all he
That's
cares
why
about
he's scared.
is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That's why they're worried, because they
Yeah.
know they can't match. Because again, it goes on Game Pass, it's automatically associated with Xbox, right?
Yeah.
So Call of Duty, no matter what they do, will never be associated with PlayStation again, and he knows it, and that's a huge hit.
Well, guess what? Good old Jim could make a little bit more of an effort to at least get started into this by putting some of their damn games into their service right now. Right? You really want to fight this? You really want to have a place in the future where this is going and be in a strong position? Start growing your user base on PlayStation Extra by giving people something worth subscribing for. Right?
PC day and date.
That would add value, and we would lose profit.
But you would gain
That's
recurring
That's literally
revenue.
how they think though. He said that. He said Game Pass isn't sustainable. So that's just like his mindset isn't. I think Sony's
They also said they
mindset
believe in
is
generations and all this other bullshit.
in
with
So-
generations.
their
It's
games,
fine,
it's not.
Ryan.
With their games, it's not 3-bit.
Well, that's why they're doing 10
They're-
live service games, right?
Right. But until they get those, and until a couple of them hit, they're stuck because their
Mhm.
games are basically the same as what Netflix is going through right now with the binging. If they put out the entire show, people binge it and
One
cut
and
off the
done.
subscription.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what happens. That's why Netflix is now talking about not doing that anymore. And that's Sony's problem with those types of games that are not set up to live on, to have multiplayer experiences, to monetize them, all the stuff that's normal on our side, on the Xbox side of things. That's not what Sony has. So they're in that position. If they release God of War into PlayStation Plus Premium, guess what? People would subscribe for 1 month and then cut off their subscription.
You get it for
Imagine if you-
$15 instead of 70, and then
Yes.
But
yes.
imagine if you had like 20 God of Wars. and
Sure.
then you stay subscribed.
But they can't
which is-
do that.
But they can't.
They can't.
Yeah, they can't. They can't afford to. And
No.
and that's not it. It is what it is. You have a $1 trillion company who's capable of buying all these studios, buying all this talent. And their vision for Game Pass is to have games in all these different genres. And by doing that, you are looking at your own, like your Netflix of gaming. You know, that's a term that's thrown around. You're looking at your Game Pass catalog, and you're seeing really good racer. You see the next Forza, you see Avowed in there, you see Fable, and then it becomes mind-blowing. Like, wow, all of this for a subscription price.
But
And-
that's why they're also buying so many studios, so they can own their content. Like
Yes.
Netflix, they're taking the best of Netflix and
Mhm.
the best of Disney
Yes.
Plus. They're taking the returning people from Disney Plus, but they're owning the original content like Netflix likes to do. So
Correct.
Right.
I got the solution for their problem, but gamers might not like that. They can just break the games like into chapters and be like, God of War.
Oh my
chapter
God.
one, just open.
Oh shit, sour blows.
Episodes.
Just
well,
like
they kind
Final
of did that because
just like Final Fantasy, just like Final Fantasy 7, right? So just breaking them all up into 3 pieces and charge full price for each piece. That would
Miles
be-
was chapter
that
2
would
of
be
Spider-Man.
I mean,
I wouldn't actually be surprised if they didn't kind of take an approach of have these different franchises and keep adding content like every year
Yes.
to each one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like, okay, you got your Spider-Man content coming this year. You got so that way they have something every quarter. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
so that would keep people in. But plus they're also investing in like live service games. Where I have an issue with them is there is the fact that they're already not taking a step further on the games that would make sense, like Gran Turismo, right? Like why not? It didn't sell like as much as you wanted it to.
It should
I think that
And
game got
it's
too much
set
heat
up
at the
for it.
start. That game got too much heat at the start for them to start adding microtransactions and try to make that carry on.
Right,
like
but
that.
that's like the one game that's
Yeah.
set up for the subscription service. They should
Yeah.
drop
Yeah.
it in there. That is like the perfect one because people would jump in there and for free, quote unquote, as we always like to think it is. But jumping in a subscription service, people would be more likely to buy the cars and spend the extra money to get the extra cash and all that kind of stuff in game if you have it in your service. It's the one game they have and they're not doing it. They're being stubborn, as always.
And then somebody like me might double dip if they would have put it on PC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the free to play model. A lot of games they get you with the game being free, so you get people in the ecosystem, and then the gamers are like, oh, how do I access these skins? How do I access the battle pass? How do I I could pay $60, whatever. Sure, I'll buy that. Then you're like, oh, I want to buy these skins too. Before you know it, they spend more than what the game's worth.
Correct.
So that's why the model works for a lot of different games. And I mean, one of the reasons I've heard where Sony wanted to buy Bungie was because they wanted to figure out how to do that model, how to monetize that model. And I was like, that's the reason you bought Bungie for like what was it, like $3 billion just to figure out
something?
Yeah, $4.8 billion just to figure that out. Like you need to buy a $4 billion company just to figure out that model. And apparently yes.
Apparently, because they're not dropping Destiny in their PlayStation Premium, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't you drop Destiny into your PlayStation Plus Premium right now?
Yeah,
because you can charge them for it.
Great.
Is this an outdated model? I think they're going by, but
yes,
they have, because of they're the market.
Well, to be
leader,
fair, I think Destiny is free to play. You just got to pay for the expansions.
You got to pay for the expansions, but they should throw the expansions in there. Is what they should do.
Yeah, because Xbox did that with Forsaken
Game Pass for a while.
Yeah,
and the other one afterwards. So yeah, put it in the premium subscription. You'll have more of the Destiny players subscribe, and they'll still probably do microtransactions for some of the stuff in the store. Buy the whatever dust or whatever to get some of the emotes or whatever.
Wow, we are 3 hours in, guys, and we are still 60 strong in the chat. You guys have been like holding through with this conversation, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you hanging out. Victor Alstein hit us with a $2 super chat. He said, did Perfect Dark move from first to third person? I've seen some rumblings and rumors out there potentially about that. I have no idea. Until we actually see something from that game, I got no clue. But that was something I did see on Twitter. Somebody mentioned something about that. But I don't really know where the source came from whatsoever. And it was like one of those trust me bro type, things. So we'll see. I do think the only official information we had out there was that it was first person. So it's possible it switched, but who knows exactly. But also, guys, I wanted to just end this off with, we got Ubisoft Forward coming tomorrow, right? And we got a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff. We already talked about this a lot on this channel about Ubisoft Forward Showcase. We're going to be co-streaming this event for anybody who wants to tune in. And there's a pre-show and then the live show. So we're going to be covering both of those as well. So we'll be going about 30 minutes before that. But as far as that goes, when we're doing our outros here, I want to just get one thing you hope to see at Ubisoft Forward Showcase tomorrow. So we'll start with our guest, Sour Blow Gaming. Tell us one thing you'd like to see at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase tomorrow, and also where can everybody find you? Appreciate you being here, man.
Oh, thank you. I'm interested in seeing that, the live service Assassin's Creed. I want to see what it is about. I really don't envision Assassin's Creed as a live service game, but I'm all up for seeing what it is about, and maybe it'll change my mind.
Yeah.
Where you can find me, you can find me everywhere at SourBlow18, Twitter, Xbox, YouTube channel. YouTube channel where I just recently started making like trailers. I grab a bunch of trailers and make my own trailers, put my own music and stuff like that. And check it out. There's some interesting thing. And of course, Wednesday, I'm with Crazy Lou, Silent Cypher, at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We have a podcast called Xbox International. You should go check it out. We have a lot of fun and talk gaming.
Cool, man. I appreciate you being here, dude. As always, I think your second time here, and we got to have you back again in the future, man. Love you on the show. So, also here we have the always fuzzy one. What do you want to see tomorrow at the Ubisoft Showcase, the Ubisoft Forward, and where can everybody find you?
Want to see Heartland, the Division Heartland.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I knew you were going there.
Give us a good showing on that. But man, it was awesome being on here with you guys. Awesome having Sour Blow on here with us as well. Shout out to Caitlin from being on here earlier, and everybody that hung out with us through the entire episode, and those that'll catch it later. For anyone who wants to hear my rambling on gaming, just follow me on Twitter, fuzzy_Belvedere. You can catch me on PTK Blam Show tomorrow, the Shop Podcast with Pong at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. You can also find me on FSP on Mondays with Mav, Jasper, 3-Bit. I think Psychonauts is taking a bit of a break for a bit, but catch us at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Breakfast with Boom, 10 a.m. on Friday mornings on Double Barrel Gaming's channel, and then right back here on Xbox Ultimate with the family.
Right
at,
on,
9 p.m. Fridays.
Appreciate you, Fuzz. 3-Bit. You already know everything is going to be at this damn showcase tomorrow, probably. But besides the fact, what do you hope to see? And where can everybody find you, bro?
Excited to see what Casey, Catherine, and the team worked on with Assassin's Creed. It's been hard keeping some of those games a secret, I'm not gonna lie. And Mario Rabbids, I did some title work for, so I really want to see how they evolve that, and some of the other titles that they haven't announced yet. Just excited overall to see what ends up being in the showcase. As last year I thought they were going to show, but it's been pushed to this showcase. So thanks for
3-Bit. Do we get Splinter Cell?
I'm actually not sure.
I mean, we're only 12 hours away or something at this point.
Come on,
3-Bit.
do we get a teaser tomorrow? Do we get a teaser?
I have no idea. But here's the thing. Thanks for the amazing show. You really killed a lot of these topics. It's been really fun jumping back on the Ultimate. It's been some time. It's always a pleasure getting to talk with Pong and everybody. And if anyone wants to hear my thoughts and opinions on things in the industry, you can follow me on Twitter at i3bit. I'm on FSP on Mondays with Fuzzy, and at 10 p.m. Eastern. Chat, you've been amazing. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Right on, man. Appreciate you, bro. As always, love you, man.
Elvin, he's not Fort Knox actually behind the scenes.
All we gotta do is like ask a lot of questions, and like his smile gives it away. I just can't do that on air too much because like I don't want to get him in trouble.
Worst poker face ever.
The realist himself, Debbie Downer, this guy Jasper, who makes me get into Halo Infinite sweaty lobbies, and I don't like that. But
I don't like it either.
Where can everybody find you, bro? And what are you excited about for tomorrow?
Yeah, Fuzzy stole my division pick, so I'm going to go with either a new Rainbow Six, which would really be really surprising, or just maybe how the rework of X Defiance going.
So, okay. Yeah, I see where you went there. Yeah.
Something more first-person shooterish. But yeah, check me out, Lore Master Jasper on YouTube. I just put out a video of me reacting to the Star Trek Picard Season 3 trailer, so check that out if you're into Star Trek stuff or just want to see my stupid face. Lord Jasper on Twitter, check that out. That's where you can contact me. And FSP is Monday nights, 10 o'clock here, and then Xbox Ultimate is Friday, 9 o'clock on this channel, so check that out.
Heck yeah, man. Appreciate you as always. Jasper, I know you'll be joining tomorrow. And anybody else here obviously wants to hop in to the co-stream for Ubisoft is welcome, more than welcome to. Pong Soul, the encyclopedia of gaming dating back to the very first game ever created, who works late on Friday, so we gets to miss the first half of the show. Appreciate you as always, bro.
I missed the first third of the show.
You did tonight. We went a little extra long. There's a lot of topics though to get to, man. But what are you hoping to see tomorrow, and where can everybody find you?
First of all, fam, it was amazing to be here again on a Friday night. You guys know how much I love this. 3-Bit, awesome to see your face, hear your voice, man. Miss you all the time, man, because we used to have some really fantastic chats every week. So when you're not around, man, I miss it, man. I miss it. So good to see you. And Sour Blow, thank you so much for being here. Man, a pleasure to have you on again. Love your takes. Love what you guys do over at XBI, even though I can't, catch it all the time, but I love all of you guys. You know that. Nothing but respect for every single one of you. So keep doing what you guys are doing because you're doing great things. And congratulations on the Danny Pena interview. That was absolutely amazing to see you guys get that. That's awesome, man. But yeah, rest of the fam, love you all. Sorry I was late. It is still 9/9, so happy Dreamcast Day, everybody. Happy Dreamcast Day. RIP to the GOAT of all time consoles, man. I've seen a lot of love out there on Twitter today. It was amazing to see people post stuff. So happy Dreamcast Day to everybody. But chat, you all are freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Stayed the entire show. We're starting to train you. I think Steele and I started something on Saturdays. Everybody says you can't do more than 2 hours. Guess what? Now Mav and I are going over 2 hours every Thursday as well. Guess what? You're all sticking around. We love you. Thank you for being here and supporting us. All the great comments and everybody just, again, having great discussions in there as well. So tomorrow morning, listen up. It is Living Split Screen. So set those alarms right now. Vic the Click is already got his alarm set. He's going to be there tomorrow morning as he always is. So I want to see everybody else in there. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, Living Split Screen. Split Screen is all one word. That's the channel. My brother from another Steel Rain and I are going to be breaking down all of this news. Now, we go 3+ hours, we're going 4. We're going to make sure everybody gets out of there tomorrow in time for the Ubisoft Forward, of course, because Steele and I are looking forward to watching that as well. But you got to be there tomorrow morning, please, and tell a friend, bring a friend, because we are on mission 1K. We are over 600 now, and if we make it, Steele plays Callista Protocol live on stream, and he does not like horror games. He's a lot like me, so it's going to be funny as hell if we get there. So anyways, see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night, like Fuzzy said, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. He's there, of course. Fuzzy's there. I'm there. We got Dr. Mo on as a guest this week, which is going to be awesome. So be there tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Tuesday, Xbox Factor Podcast. It's not looking like I'm going to make it this week, but you know it's Mr. Boomstick. It's Double Barrel Gaming. You got to be there for all good things green every Tuesday. Always an amazing panel. This week was crazy because we were all there. We had a huge panel. It was a lot of fun. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Again, Xbox Factor Podcast every Tuesday. Then Thursday might be a really, really crazy day. Mav has yet to decide how crazy it's going to be because we may go live at 4 a.m. our time for TGS, for the Tokyo Game Show. We might do it. Otherwise, I got another show that has not been announced on Thursday as well. And then, of course, I'll be back on for PM in the PM Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Pong and Mav in the PM. You got to be there. We have guests. We had a guest last night in Psychonauts. Brother showed up, and you got to go check that out. But this week, Mav's got somebody else loaded up, and it's going to be a big one. And then the following week, it's going to be another big one. So you got to be there every Thursday night. Otherwise, I'll be back here next Friday. As far as tomorrow's show, Ubisoft Forward, really looking forward to Mirage, of course. I saw some more stuff today that the Assassin's Creed 1 remake is real. I'm hoping they talk about it. I'm hoping to show it off. I want to see Mirage, but in all reality, the one that's got me intrigued the most, the rumor of Hex. That's right, the one set during the witch trials, supposed to be the darkest Assassin's Creed they've done yet. We think it's a part of the games as a service, the online kind of Assassin's Creed world, whatever it is. I want to see just a glimpse of that expansion. I just want to see what kind of tone they're setting, what the atmosphere is going to be like. That's what I'm hoping to see tomorrow. Otherwise, golden age is here, folks. You just heard us list off what Xbox has in the works that we just know about. You just heard it. It's the golden age. This is going to be the best time ever to be a gamer. It is right now. So get out there, enjoy it, have a great weekend, play what you love what you play. I'll talk to you all real soon.
Right on, man. I appreciate you as always, Pong. And guys, want to see one thing. I just want them to say the word Splinter Cell. Right? That's all I need. Right? If they just say the word Splinter Cell, I'll be happy. Okay. Besides that, which I know is a pipe dream, even though the game's been announced, it's still a pipe dream. I think that my number one thing would be potentially seeing that Assassin's Creed Mirage game and what it's all about. and hopefully getting a glimpse at the Assassin's Creed 1 remake, which is swirling around on Twitter today that's actually true as well. So adding all these things up, Assassin's Creed 1 remake and Assassin's Creed Mirage, getting back to the roots of what that is all about. I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped there. So yeah, guys, this was a fantastic show. And like Pong said, got all his PM in the PM. We got a couple guests coming up the next couple weeks. I think a lot of you will be excited for. So this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, look out for those announcements. I like to wait to announce the guests just in case anything comes up. I don't want to, to feel like, oh shit or whatever. But guys, this was awesome. Tell you, we got to stream tomorrow. I don't remember what time it happens, but I'll put out a post before tomorrow because I don't remember what time the pre-show is. But I put out a post.
1:30 Central, isn't it? 2:30 Eastern
for the pre-show.
So. Yeah, isn't it? Is it a half hour before?
I think it's like the long pre-show.
35 minutes.
I can't remember.
I think it's something weird.
Yeah.
But I'll put out a post officially in the morning tomorrow sometime, and we'll let you know before we go live. And looking forward to that. And as far as other coverage here, we have Fun Speculation Podcast Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we also have, as always, Xbox Ultimate, but game streams and more. Guys, I stream a lot of games, so come hang out and chat it up with us. And you can check out this podcast on Anchor.fm, on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, all that shit. If you like it, check it out as well after the fact. So appreciate you guys. Wow. 3 hours and 12 minutes. Let's get out of here. Take it easy. Bye.
Check out those potentiometers.
Later.
Potentiometers.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for having me, Matt.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Cyberblow. Peace.